Pokémon, I became a Pikachu. Hello again, dear adventurers of the multiverse. Thanks for joining us once more on this epic journey. Remember, this story is pure science fiction from our wild imagination, so don't go trying to summon dragons in your backyard. The rights of this amazing novel belong entirely to its original author. We are only the narrators. Do you want more adventures? Show some love to our YouTube channel with a subscription and a like, and if you want exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting for you with open arms. Chapter 401 Ash's Second Critical Strike. I'm Ash from the Kanto region, and I'd like to challenge your gym. Ash rushed out excitedly at the crack of dawn. He couldn't help it, the match, which was supposed to take place yesterday, had been delayed overnight, and Ash was itching to challenge it. Kanto champion Ash? Alright, your request is certainly possible. The gym leader of Azalea Town was the bug-type trainer, Abi. With a strikingly feminine appearance, Abi was undeniably handsome and possessed a unique allure. Compared to her, Ash's seemingly goofy aura seemed amplified once again. Oh. These two beautiful ladies, are you also here to challenge the gym? Abi welcomes you anytime. Responding to Ash's request, Abi looked up and was immediately stunned. Beautiful women. More beautiful women. One had long legs and stockings, the other had long, muscular legs, both were rare beauties. Abi only agreed to Ash's challenge due to her status. But Abi was quite interested in these two beauties. However, sorry, I have no interest in challenging the gym. Zaya Aksha rolled her eyes and stepped aside. What the hell? Not even as handsome as my Mu Chen in his human form, and he dares to flirt with me? You're far from it. Because she often spends time with Mu Chen, Zaya Aksha has mastered the skill of rolling her eyes without being taught. Challenge? I'm not interested either. I'm here to accompany my boyfriend. Compared to Zaya Aksha, Serena was much more decisive. What does Abi mean? Flirting with her in front of Ash? If she doesn't immediately state her position, wouldn't her chances become even slimmer? The clever Serena not only stated her position immediately, but also took the opportunity to directly link arms with Ash and say that he was her boyfriend. After hearing this, Serena's heart was completely in suspense. Ash. Please don't turn me down in front of this Abi. Thinking of the blow Ash dealt her last time, Serena was filled with anxiety. This guy can't be that clueless and disrespectful, can he? Luckily, this time Zio Zhi didn't immediately remove the arm that was holding him. Oh. I see. Please forgive my rudeness. So, Mr. Champion, shall we begin the match now? Do you have any requests? It couldn't be more obvious. The muscular, long-legged beauty had absolutely no interest in him, and there was even a hint of disdain in her eyes. Of course, Abi wouldn't continue to pester her. As for the long-legged woman in stockings, she was even more direct. She was the champion's girlfriend. How could she possibly be interested in him? Putting aside those unrealistic thoughts, Abi naturally turned her attention back to Zio Zhi. Why? Abi, am much more handsome than you. Why can you have two women on your arms? Is it just because of this champion? HMPH. Then let's fight. So what if he's the champion? If we don't fight, who knows who will win? At this moment, Abi was filled with jealousy towards Zio Zhi. Of course, Zio Zhi didn't understand this. At this moment, Zio Zhi was also very confused. Serena, can you let go now? Ash noticed Serena clinging to him as he watched Pendulum walk into the gym. Here we go again? How am I supposed to walk with you like this? By the way, Misty, do you know what Serena's boyfriend is? I think my mom mentioned him before. What boyfriend? Girlfriend? What do they do? Partners? Or what? In this world, humans are generally more mature than in the world Mu Chen transmigrated from. By their early teens, they basically understand romantic relationships. For example, Gary, Ash's same age, has a whole platoon of girlfriends. Mu Chen was quite impressed by this. Young people have such high energy, could his little back handle it? However, there are always exceptions. Ash was an exception. What romantic relationships? What boyfriends, girlfriends? Does it help in battle? With his mind focused entirely on battle, Ash had never paid attention to such things. Even though Hanako kept mentioning it to him, he completely ignored it. This is why Ash is such a clueless simpleton. He is persistent. He has lofty ideals. He has ambitious goals. He is a pure, simple-minded person. Ash, you should go to the competition. We can talk about this later. Seeing Ash ask her such a question in front of Serena, Misty's forehead veins almost popped out. Can't you be a little more considerate? How could you ask something like that? Okay, you don't understand, you can ask, but can you at least consider the occasion? You actually asked it in front of Serena? How is she supposed to feel? Didn't you notice that Serena's expression changed? Yes, Serena's expression did change when she heard Ash ask such a question. Oh my god. Did he reject me? At this moment, all Serena could think of was that she had been rejected. Otherwise, why would Ash ask a question he already knew the answer to? Clearly, Serena still didn't understand Ash. In her mind, Ash, at his age, absolutely understood what boyfriend and girlfriend meant. Because of this understanding, Serena thought Ash was politely rejecting her. Pikachu. Pikachu, holy crap. This is bad. Seeing Serena's pale face, Mu Chen panicked. Damn it. Don't have any wild thoughts? Don't give up. You absolutely mustn't give up. Although Mu Chen was reluctant to give Serena's stunning long legs and stockings to Ash, he had no choice due to his mission. Moreover, given the current situation, Serena was the only hope. If even she gave up, then Mu Chen's mission would truly be indefinitely postponed. Serena, don't overthink it. Ash isn't rejecting you, he just doesn't understand. Fortunately, just as Mu Chen panicked to the point of considering using Thunderbolt to knock Ash down and then force himself on him, Misty spoke up. Xiaoxia, don't try to comfort me. Serena was heartbroken after being rejected. Oh my god, I'm not trying to comfort you. Ash is only focused on battle, he really doesn't understand anything. Seeing Serena's still dejected expression, Xiaoxia could only try to explain again. This unlucky girl, how could you possibly like Ash? Yes. Xiaoxia, you're right. I remember now. When we were little, Ash was just that oblivious. Encouraged by Xiaoxia, Serena finally pulled herself out of her slump. Chapter 402 Mu Chen, who took the initiative to fight? Go, Melodic, let's not back down, Heracris. The gym battle had officially begun. Mu Chen had absolutely no interest in watching this battle. He was still reeling from the shock. Thankfully, Misty was strong enough to pull Serena back. Otherwise, if she had really given up, I would have been devastated. No way. Letting things continue like this was unacceptable. Through Ash's two devastating attacks, Mu Chen had realized that if things continued as they were, the chances of Serena being persuaded to quit were definitely higher than the chances of defeating Ash. Now, Mu Chen had two urgent problems to solve. The first, of course, was to teach Ash what a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship is and what they should do together. Only by letting him know that besides battles, girls are also wonderful could the problem be solved. The second, of course, was to make Ash interested in Serena. If Ash, that goofball, could develop even the slightest interest in Serena, Mu Chen's chances of completing his mission would greatly increase. Mu Chen was very clear about the current situation. Clearly, Ash's attitude towards Serena was the same as his attitude towards Misty. In Ash's eyes, they were just travel companions, buddies. The second problem wasn't urgent. What Mu Chen needed to solve most right now was the first one. Only after making Ash understand the beauty of a romantic relationship could he proceed to the next step. But the problem was, Pikachu, damn it. I'm not a biology teacher. And definitely not a physiology teacher. How am I supposed to explain this to Ash? At this moment, this was the real headache for Mu Chen. Go Ash. You can do it. Serena, of course, was unaware of Mu Chen's troubles. Now recovered, Serena had once again transformed into a fangirl, jumping around cheering Ash on. Although Serena had learned the problem from Misty, she wasn't as anxious as Mu Chen. In her opinion, she had indeed been acting too hastily. Ash, that simpleton, wouldn't understand no matter how much she tried. So, she might as well quietly follow him, helping and supporting him in every way she could. Sooner or later, Ash would understand what a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship was all about. Sooner or later, Ash would be won over by her. Pikachu. Do you think this is really okay? Looking at the bouncy Serena, Misty suddenly felt a pang of guilt. Was she being unreasonable? Would it have been better if she hadn't explained things to her, or even if Serena had simply given up? The thought of Serena rushing into Ash's arms like a moth, only to be burned to ashes, gave Misty a terrible headache. Why had she tried to persuade her? Pikachu, okay? Absolutely. Honey, please support me. No way. I also need to get Xiaoxia to change her mind. Hearing Xiaoxi's question, Mu Chen suddenly realized that he wasn't just dealing with Xiaoxi and Serena. At the very least, Xiaoxi had to be on his side. If this girl backed down, wouldn't the difficulty of his mission increase even more? Mu Chen knew that if it weren't for Xiaoxi's strong persuasion, Serena, even if she didn't give up, definitely wouldn't have recovered in a short time. This wasn't ideal for Mu Chen. However, what frustrated Mu Chen was, how could he talk to Xiaoxi? Should he just tell her he had a system mission? Nonsense, that's unrealistic. Mu Chen didn't plan to tell anyone about the system. Since he couldn't mention the system mission, Mu Chen only had one option left. Damn it. Fight to the death. So what if he got pinched? It's not the first time. Having made up his mind, Mu Chen instantly transformed into a lecherous man, drooling over the bouncing Serena, something he had been holding back. This was Mu Chen's plan. You, Xiaoxi, are jealous? Well, bring it on. Be jealous. Let you discover my interest in Serena, then you'll definitely try to kill my feelings. And the most effective way to kill them is naturally to get Xiaoxi and Serena together. Once they're together, you, Xiaoxi, will be completely relieved, won't you, Pikachu? Sure enough, everything went exactly as Mu Chen expected. Startled by Mu Chen's drool, Xiaoxi looked down and immediately flew into a rage. This damn bastard. Where are you looking? And you're drooling? You've never drooled over me before. At this, Xiaoxi was completely enraged. Pinch me? You're dreaming. Bang! With a practiced over-the-shoulder throw, Mu Chen promptly collapsed to the ground. Pikachu, holy crap. What happened to the planned battle? This is a bit too much? Pikachu? You want to join the battle? Haha. Don't worry, you won't have to work hard this time. Just as Mu Chen was being flung away by Xiaoxi, Melodic was also losing. Just as Xiaoxi was about to summon his Pokémon to join the battle, Mu Chen flew over from behind. In Xiaoxi's opinion, Pikachu was naturally itching to fight and wanted to have a go too. Pikachu, join the battle? Which eye of yours saw me joining the battle? I was flung out, okay? Hearing Xiaoxi's idiotic mutterings, Mu Chen rolled his eyes again. Damn it, communicating when you're not on the same wavelength is really difficult. Champion, is this your champion Pokémon? Since it wants to fight, then let me battle this champion Pikachu. This time, Xiaoxi didn't plan to let Pikachu join the battle, but his opponent, Abi, became interested. Champion Pokémon? Pikachu? That's because you haven't met me, Ash. Once I defeat this guy, won't my name be known far and wide? And won't these two beautiful ladies fall right into my arms? Right now, Ash also has two Pokémon he can battle with. A mere Pikachu, which you see everywhere, is simply beneath Ash's notice. Champion? HMPH. What a load of rubbish. It's just a show put on by those people in the league to fool the public. Is that so? Alright then, Pikachu, the next battle is yours. Since his opponent has asked for a beating, Ash certainly won't refuse. Come to think of it, Pikachu hasn't even had a chance to fight since the start of their new journey. Chapter 403 Professional Treatment for Fancy Things. Go, Fortress. This battle is yours. Heracross and Ash's Melodic fought to a standstill, and seeing Pikachu join the battle, Abi chose Fortress, nicknamed Steel Ball, as a Steel Bug-type Pokémon. It wouldn't be at a disadvantage against the Electric-type Pikachu. Pikachu. Let's battle too. Since the opponent had already sent out their Pokémon, Ash certainly wouldn't back down. Pika, damn it. Come on, I'm already seething with anger. You're asking for a beating, so I have no reason not to. Because of this frustrating mission, because of Ash, that clueless idiot, and because Misty, that brat, didn't give him any face and dumped him, Mu Chen was still furious. Asking to fight me? Then I'll beat you so badly your own mother won't recognize you. Fortress, use Stardust, then Toxic Spikes, cover the entire field. The battle began, and Abi, of course, wouldn't hold back. Fortress isn't a strong Pokémon in terms of independent attack, but its defense is incredibly formidable. The way to defeat this Pokémon after battle is naturally Stardust and Toxic Spikes. Once these two moves are used, the entire field is covered, and non-flying Pokémon won't even have a place to land. Then, relying on Fortress's strong defense, it can easily wear down its opponent. This tactic is indeed very effective against ordinary Pokémon, and even defeating a stronger opponent with a weaker one is not surprising. But, His opponent is Mu Chen. Fortress, with Abi's command, Fortress spun vigorously. As Fortress spun, various steel spikes and purple toxic spikes were flung out from its body. Pikachu, holy crap! What are you trying to do? Seeing the constantly spinning Fortress, Mu Chen was slightly taken aback. This kind of tactic was truly unprecedented. But it didn't matter, whatever the tricks, he'd start with a 100,000 volt blast. Zzz. Without a word, Mu Chen unleashed a friendly 100,000 volt attack on the still spinning Fortress. This 100,000 volt attack wasn't charged up at all, it was just Mu Chen's way of starting things off. However, the result far exceeded Mu Chen's expectations. Fortress, just as it was spinning wildly, a 100,000 volt blast the thickness of an arm suddenly blasted towards it. This time, Fortress truly suffered a heavy blow. Although its defense was formidable, it was only physical defense. Special defense? It was only so-so. What level of existence was Mu Chen now? With most of its 525 base stat points allocated to speed and special attack, how could a mere gym leader's Fortress withstand such a powerful thunderbolt? Damn it! Hang in there, Fortress. The poison spikes and spikes had only just been applied, barely altering the terrain. If Fortress was eliminated with a single thunderbolt, then Abi truly didn't know how to fight next. Pikachu, holy crap! This guy's all show and no substance? So weak against electricity? You pretty boy, you just used your electricity on my Misty, didn't you? I'll give you all my electricity back. A single thunderbolt, meant to be a greeting, had this effect. Mu Chen was genuinely surprised. Thinking about how this Abi dared to use his electricity on his Misty, Mu Chen's anger flared up again. Damn it, you want to compete with electricity? I'm the granddaddy of electricity. Zzz. Without a word, Mu Chen activated Thunderbolt once again. Against such a weak opponent, Mu Chen didn't even bother using a high-powered move like Electric Ball. Seriously, using Electric Ball would require running to accelerate, right? He could have easily thrashed it with Thunderbolt. The result was exactly as Mu Chen had predicted. One Thunderbolt, and the already heavily injured Fortress was completely finished. Damn it! Is this the strength of a champion? I'm so much weaker. Watching his Fortress being defeated by two Thunderbolts, Abi's confidence vanished completely. It seemed he and this Pikachu were truly not in the same league. He had just defeated Melodic, thinking this so-called champion was nothing special. Pikachu, well done. Having easily defeated his opponent, Ash was naturally incredibly excited. Although Pikachu's appearance meant Ash couldn't train other Pokémon this time, winning was the most important thing for Ash. Damn it! The match isn't over yet. Go, my strongest partner, Scyther. Abi was already wavering. But seeing Ash's excited expression spurred him on. So what if Fortress was electrocuted? That's because Fortress is too slow. My Scyther is incredibly fast. As long as it can avoid Pikachu's attacks, victory isn't out of the question. Swoosh, with Abi's summons, a vibrant green Scyther appeared in mid-air above the arena. Scyther, use agility, then use Shadow Clone. Having secured the advantage of speed, Abi didn't hesitate. With agility, Scyther instantly created over 10 Shadow Clones identical to its real form. Pikachu, holy crap! This thing is pretty fast. Seeing Scyther's speed, Mu Chen vaguely felt that even at full speed, he wouldn't be much faster. This means that relying on a move like Thunderbolt to defeat Scyther is indeed not so easy. Ha. See? This is my most powerful Pokémon. Scyther, perform Swords Dance. Continuing the buff, Abi believed that once Swords Dance was finished, Scyther would definitely have a chance to defeat Pikachu. However, he hadn't heard the saying, one force can overcome all methods. Pikachu, what a pathetic contraption. You're fast? You have multiple clones? Well then, I'll see how you dodge this thunder. Too lazy to even use a recharge, Mu Chen directly unleashed a thunderbolt at the constantly tumbling Scyther in the sky. Crackling, electricity surged, and bursts of lightning began to leap within the dark clouds above the arena. HMPH. You think you can pull off fancy moves? I may not know anything else, but I specialize in dealing with all sorts of fancy moves. Chapter 443 Beast Warriors. As expected of the Kanto region champion, as expected of a champion Pokémon, I still have a long way to go. The Thunderbolt move was used, and the result was obvious. Scyther was indeed faster, but under Mu Chen's barrage of thunderbolts, it had no way to avoid it, and it was no surprise it was knocked down. Seeing the vast difference in strength between himself and Ash, Abby could only helplessly accept his defeat. Ash, you're amazing. Pikachu is so strong too. Ash's victory naturally made his little fan, Serena, the happiest. Although she had seen Pikachu battle on TV before, watching on TV and seeing it in person were completely different. Who would have thought that such a cute-looking little guy could be so terrifying in battle? Although Serena wasn't enthusiastic about battles, she still had a basic understanding. Through this battle, Serena finally understood just how terrifying Pikachu's strength truly was. They could easily crush the main Pokémon of these gym leaders, so what would happen if they faced an Elite Four member? Serena was filled with curiosity about this. However, she didn't know that her curiosity would soon be put to the test. After taking down the Azalea Town gym, Ash naturally wouldn't stop his journey. Since he didn't need to collect all 8 gym badges, Ash didn't deliberately take detours to remote areas. At this moment, he was heading towards MT Silver. SHHSHH, Serena, Misty, did you hear anything? At this moment, Ash and his friends had arrived near the burning tower. After crossing 2 more cities, they could reach MT Silver and challenge the Elite Four member of Johto. However, just as Ash and his friends were resting near the burning tower, an unusual sound came from nearby. Nothing? It's probably just the wind. Ash, aren't you going to rest for a while? After spending some time together, Serena had thoroughly understood Ash's goofy nature. Just as Zyuoxia said, this guy's brain is completely devoid of anything except fighting. For example, right now, he's completely oblivious to his own long, stockinged legs and Zyuoxia's shapely, long legs. What's so interesting about the wind blowing through the grass? Serena can only wait in this situation. Wait for the Cydia to grow up on his own, wait for an opportunity to appear. Only when the Cydia truly notices her will she have a chance. Beep beep, random mission activated. Young man, isn't your empty journey boring? Now, let's add some fun to your trip. Mission requirements: protect Ash, Serena, and Zyuoxia. Mission reward: an opportunity. Failure penalty: useless. You can't even protect them? Do you even have any value in continuing to live? What? Ash, this idiot, doesn't know how to appreciate long legs, but Mu Chen does. Just as this guy was admiring the beautiful scenery before him, the system's electronic voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Upon hearing the random mission activated, Mu Chen knew that the rustling sound was probably not just the wind as Serena had claimed. But what on earth was this reward? An opportunity? What opportunity? Mu Chen was completely baffled by this reward. However, regardless, at least he knew there was something strange in the bushes, and Mu Chen couldn't continue observing. Zzzzz. Without a word, he unleashed a thunderbolt attack, striking the bushes with all his might. Pikachu, what are you doing? Pikachu's sudden attack startled Ash and the others. What was going on? Was there really someone in the bushes? The answer was quickly revealed. Found out? I didn't expect you, little mouse, to be so alert. Well then, Sachi, Chakra, let's all come out. As soon as the words were spoken, 3 creatures with different appearances, resembling a vampire, an android, and Frankenstein's monster, emerged from the bushes. Who are you? Why are you following us? Seeing these 3 strangely shaped creatures, it would be a lie to say he wasn't nervous. Pikachu, holy crap. What are these? 3 aliens? Are they Ichijo and Rinka's subordinates? Based on Lingzi's previous report, Mu Chen naturally knew that Ichijo and Rinka, the 2 Elite Four members from the Johto region, weren't exactly friendly towards him. Now, with the system notification, Mu Chen knew these guys were his mission targets. But these 3, have they even fully evolved yet? Ha ha ha. Who are we? We are the Team Rocket's 3 Beast Warriors. Sachi, Chakra, and Alka. Now, we'll give you 2 choices. Hand over Pikachu obediently, and we'll spare your life. Or, die. The enemy was indeed the enemy, but not the one Mu Chen had imagined. These 3 were indeed the Team Rocket's 3 Beast Warriors. Although these 3 looked rather strange, their strength was still very formidable. Even Lance and Random, whom Mu Chen had killed, might not have been much stronger than these 3. Previously, Lance and Random had each fought alone against Mu Chen. This time, Giovanni gave the order for the 3 Beast Warriors to attack together and capture Pikachu. Why did Giovanni give this order? His painstakingly raised Mewtwo had betrayed him and escaped, significantly weakening Giovanni's strength. Without Mewtwo, Giovanni focused his attention on Pikachu. The little creature's progress was terrifying. Even if it didn't reach Mewtwo's level, it certainly wouldn't be far off. If he captured Pikachu, and combined it with his own Beedrill, he could make up for his lost strength. That's why Giovanni dispatched his strongest team, the three Beast Warriors. Having received Giovanni's order, the three Beast Warriors naturally chased after Ash and his group from the Kanto region. Using information provided by Apollo, the head of the Johto region, the three finally caught up with Ash and his friends in the wilderness. They had originally planned to hide and launch a sneak attack at night. Unexpectedly, before they could even conceal themselves properly, they were discovered. The three Beast Warriors had thoroughly investigated Ash's abilities. Aside from Pikachu, the others were simply not up to par. Therefore, even after being discovered, the three Beast Warriors showed no fear and directly chose to reveal themselves and fight Ash head-on. Damn it! Team Rocket again. Pikachu, prepare for battle. Upon hearing the name announced by their opponents, Ash's eyes blazed with fighting spirit once more. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 405 Showdown with the Three Beast Warriors. Chakra, Auka, those two little girls are yours to handle. This Pikachu, leave it to me. As the only female among the three Beast Warriors, and one who resembled a vampire, Sachi was the only one who was somewhat pleasing to the eye. Seeing Ash take on the challenge, the three Beast Warriors each assigned their opponents. As the strongest captain among the three Beast Warriors, Sachi naturally took on the responsibility of holding off Pikachu. Ash's two companions weren't very strong, and once Chakra and Auka dealt with them, that would be the time for the three Beast Warriors to launch their all-out attack. As long as she could hold off Pikachu for a while, Ash would inevitably be defeated. This was the three Beast Warriors' tactic. Haha. Don't worry, I'll take care of this little girl. The first to make a choice was Auka, who resembled an android. He waved his large hand, pointed at the nervous-looking Misty, and revealed a lewd smile. Auka, you have no taste. This one looks much more delicious. Well then, I'll leave these black stockings to Chakra. The last speaker was the short guy who looked like Frankenstein's monster, Chakra. Just from their conversation, you could tell these three guys were definitely not kind. Damn it. Don't underestimate me, Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. Seeing these guys assigning opponents right in front of him, Ash felt humiliated. Facing Team Rocket, there was no need for any politeness. Without waiting for them to summon their Pokémon, Ash decisively issued the attack command. HMPH. Kid, taste my power. Go, cursed doll. Use Shadow Ball to block Pikachu's Thunderbolt. Ash attacked, and Sachi didn't hesitate either, waving her hand to summon a ghost-type cursed doll. Haha. Little girl, let me, the great Auka, pamper you. Go, Shuckle. Use binding attack to grab this little girl for me. Auka's Pokemon wasn't as rugged as his appearance, but this Shuckle's strength was definitely not to be underestimated. Damn it. Ugly thing, don't think I'm easy to deal with. Go, Sidnook. Use Psychic, this disgusting thing wants to grab me. Xiaoxia, a beauty enthusiast, said this was absolutely intolerable. My Mu Chen is so handsome, I only let him touch my hand, and you want to grab me? These two have already made their move, so I can't stand idly by. Little beauty, shall we begin? Go, my mighty warrior, Steelix. You use binding attack too, the great Chakra, also want to get some fun with this little beauty. The smallest of the three Beast Warriors used the largest Pokémon, Steelix. Chakra showed no mercy to Serena. This time, their mission was to capture Pikachu. Anything extra after capturing Pikachu would be considered a mission bonus. Previously, they thought Ash only had Misty by his side, and they were worried about not having enough to share with Ogre. But now it seems that this problem is completely solved. This Serena is just what his Chakra is looking for. Damn it. Steelix? Then you're the ones I choose. Fennekin and Froakie. Steelix's type is Steel Ground, and Fennekin's Fire and Froakie's Water types are both super effective against it. With limited strength, Serena certainly wouldn't be so reckless as to engage in a one-on-one battle with this despicable Team Rocket. The clever Serena knew that her mission wasn't to defeat them. As long as she could hold out and stall until Ash dealt with her reinforcements, that would be enough. To truly gain Ash's attention, Serena, who hadn't previously been enthusiastic about battles, had gradually changed. At least in the face of these evil opponents, Serena wouldn't back down. Pikachu, Mu Chen had no time to pay attention to the battle between Misty and Serena. At this moment, he had focused all his attention on the opponent in front of him. Mu Chen knew that he had to deal with this woman as soon as possible in the face of the three beast warriors who had suddenly attacked. Otherwise, he was a little more at ease with Misty having SYNOPSIS. But what about Serena? Mu Chen had absolutely no confidence in that girl's fighting ability. If something really happened to Serena, not only would his random mission be ruined, but his main mission would also be a disaster. How could Mu Chen accept this situation? Therefore, he was now single-mindedly focused on killing this cursed doll. Zzz, electricity leaped. Without any hesitation, Mu Chen unleashed a 100,000-volt attack as thick as an arm, targeting the cursed doll floating in midair. Why? Facing Mu Chen's attack, the cursed doll did not back down at all. As it let out a series of loud cries, shadow balls flashed from the void, blasting towards Mu Chen's thunderbolt. Boom! 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 Violent explosions rang out. When the dust settled, Mu Chen's thunderbolt had long since vanished into thin air. Pikachu, holy crap! That's awesome? He knows his own strength. This instantaneous thunderbolt is definitely not something an ordinary Pokémon can withstand. This Sachi's cursed doll can actually block it so easily? It seems its strength is not much weaker than Agatha's Jengar. Cursed doll. Use spell. Having blocked Pikachu's attack, Sachi decisively ordered a counterattack. As for its counterattack method, it was the same insidious move that Agatha had used before, spell. Pikachu, spell? Damn. Not again? Mu Chen had suffered greatly from this spell back on the deserted island. Now, Mu Chen heard the name of this disgusting skill again, and he panicked instantly. Damn it. If I get hit by this curse, forget about protecting Zyuoxia and Serena, even I myself will be in grave danger. Pikachu, strike first, or suffer the consequences. With his vast combat experience, Mu Chen certainly wouldn't give his opponent a chance to prepare this nasty skill. Without any hesitation, Mu Chen quickly activated his attack, accelerating towards the cursed doll. Zzz. Reaching the front, electricity crackled on Mu Chen's cheeks again, and he unleashed an electromagnetic wave at the still-forming cursed doll. Damn it, you want to use a curse again? You better shut up. Chapter 406 Battlefields. Psychic, use Psychic, Shuttle, use Ninja. Compared to the battle on Mu Chen's side, Zyuoxia's battle was much more peaceful. Alka's Shuttle was primarily responsible for defense and the Beast Warriors team, its offensive capabilities being quite weak. Facing Zyuoxia's Psychic, Shuttle was in an awkward position. Although the silly duck tilted its head and acted cute, Shuttle didn't have any good offensive methods. A binding attack not only failed to defeat Psychic, but also spurred the idiot to remember how to use Psychic. Psychic recalled psychic attacks, and the offensive and defensive positions of the two sides naturally reversed. Now, Psychic was on the offensive, and Shuttle was on the defensive. The defensive power of a champion-level Shuttle was terrifying. Although Psychic's Psychic was very powerful, it didn't have a good way to deal with Shuttle. At this moment, Zyuoxia's Psychic and Alka's Shuttle were completely locked in a stalemate. Zyuoxia's side was stable, but Serena's side was in grave danger. Roar! A series of angry roars erupted from Steelix's mouth. Despite Serena's summoned Fennekin and Froakie being type advantageous against Steelix's overwhelming power, they were still unable to withstand its onslaught. Ha ha ha. Very good. That's it. Steelix, use Crunch, kill this little fox first. Steelix was an Elite 4-level Pokémon, its strength was undeniable. Although Serena bravely faced it, she was still too weak at this moment. Fennekin. Froakie, use Bubble Beam, protect Fennekin. Seeing Steelix bar its steel fangs and pounce on Fennekin, Serena panicked. Ribbit, compared to Fennekin, a Pokémon more suited to contests, Froakie's battle awareness was much stronger. Upon receiving Serena's command, Froakie leaped forward and unleashed a water-type Bubble Beam at Steelix's head. Roar! As a steel ground-type Pokémon, Steelix's aversion to water was obvious. The bubble beam didn't cause much damage, but it successfully enraged Steelix. Ignoring its trainer's orders, it twisted its massive body and delivered a powerful iron tail strike to Fennekin and Froakie. Bang! Unsurprisingly, Fennekin was sent flying and knocked unconscious. Even the relatively stronger Froakie could only barely hold on, likely on the verge of collapse. Ha ha ha. Now you can't stop me, can you? Charge, Steelix, use bind and bring this little beauty over here. Sachi was still fighting Pikachu, and Ogre was locked in a prolonged battle with Misty. Chakra was extremely excited to be the first to defeat his opponent. Pikachu, I'm leaving this to you. I'm going to reinforce Serena. With a single electromagnetic wave, Mu Chen successfully interrupted the Cursidal spell. Now, the Cursidal was barely holding on. Seeing this, Ash naturally focused his attention on the other two battles. On Misty's side, Psyduck and Shuckle were having a friendly endurance contest. But Serena's situation was not good. Seeing his companion in danger, Ash naturally wouldn't stand idly by. After instructing Pikachu, who was still fighting, Ash ran towards Serena. Come out, Melodic, use Water Pulse. As he ran, Ash summoned Melodic, a mainstay that was absolutely super effective against Steelix. Seeing Ash come to her aid, Serena was naturally filled with happiness. Regardless of whether the silly guy understood the relationship between boyfriend and girlfriend, at least when he rescued her, he was full of manly spirit. Just like he was at summer camp in his childhood. This was also the reason why Serena was so enamored with Ash. Pikachu, holy crap. What's going on? The mission isn't even finished yet, and the opportunity has already appeared? Seeing Ash suddenly get it, Mu Chen was dumbfounded. This isn't right? This isn't Ash's personality at all. How could he possibly understand the hero saves the damsel in distress trope? Didn't we agree that we'd go together after I dealt with the opponent? Of course, regardless, this situation is good for Mu Chen. Ash is going to support Serena, so Mu Chen can fight without worry. And even if Ash, that idiot, doesn't have any other ideas, Serena is a different story. Did you see the light shining in that girl's eyes, almost tangible? Before, Mu Chen was worried that Serena might give up because Ash was too stubborn. Now it seems that such worries were completely unnecessary. Pikachu, HMPH, a Cursidal, huh? I'm getting serious. Putting aside his worries, Mu Chen focused his attention on the Cursidal again. Sizzle, sparks of electricity began to leap across his cheeks. To quickly defeat his opponent, Mu Chen decisively entered charging mode. Damn it, you two, stop stalling. This Pikachu is tough. Come out, Starmie, use Psychic. His opponent, Ash, had only left one Pikachu behind before turning away, which was a huge humiliation for Sachi. However, Pikachu had the power to humiliate him. With the Cursidal's spell broken, it had no good way to deal with Pikachu's attack. Even the instantaneous Thunderbolt was barely enough to withstand it. What about after charging? What if Pikachu didn't use Thunderbolt and instead unleashed a black electric ball? The thought of that possibility made Sachi panic. Facing the powerful Pikachu, Sachi abandoned his bravado and decisively summoned his other Elite Four level Pokémon. At the same time, Sachi kept calling out to his two companions. Now was not the time to play around. Those two girls had to be dealt with quickly so they could come to their aid. Facing the Pikachu in its recharging state, Sachi knew he couldn't hold out much longer. Haha. Sachi, you can't hold them off? Fine. I'm done playing around. Go, my Jumpluff army. Hearing Sachi's cry for help, Ogre finally got serious. With a wave of its paw, it summoned 5 Jumpluffs. Then I won't hold back either. Come on, Skarmory. Steelix's attack was blocked by Melodic, and Chakra also summoned its trump card. Chapter 407 Taking Down Sachi. Damn it. Don't underestimate us. Come out, Gardevoir, and you too, Misskirt, Starmie, go help too, Panda, go help Fennekin. The 3 Beast Warriors went all out, and Ash and his friends were under immense pressure. Although these 3 were individually a bit weaker than the Elite Four of Team Rocket, their combined strength was formidable. Even Apollo, the first Elite Four member, was no match for the 3 Beast Warriors working together. Although the 3 Beast Warriors weren't fighting together, but rather each against a single enemy, it was still more than Ash and his friends could handle. Ash and Serena were barely managing to hold on against the Chakra. Misty was also relying entirely on Psyduck's psychic powers to hold off Ogre. But Nobody knew how long they could last. Pikachu, with high-speed movement activated, quick attack was unleashed. What cursed doll, what Starmie? Take this electric ball. Mu Chen was acutely aware of the unfavorable situation. If the battle dragged on, and either Ash or Misty fell, they would immediately face the risk of being surrounded. Even Mu Chen himself wasn't confident of victory against all three. Therefore, after charging, Mu Chen didn't hesitate, and the black electric ball began to gather strength. Crackling sounds, a violent current surged from Mu Chen's tail as it coalesced into an electric ball. Damn it! Cursed doll, use substitute. Starmie, use protect to help cursed doll. Ogre, come and support me. With a terrifying black electric ball already formed, Sachi dared not underestimate it. Ogre immediately commanded its two Pokémon to use defensive moves and also called for help from Ogre, the team's most defensively skilled Pokémon. Go, Shuckle, use Endure to help Sachi. The three Pokémon were very united. Seeing Sachi in danger, Ogre didn't hesitate. However, he neglected Misty. Trying to leave? Did you ask me? Psychic, increase your psychic and control Shuckle. Starmie, use Swift to help Psychic intercept these Jumpluffs. Pikachu's electric ball was crucial to the outcome of this battle, so Misty certainly wouldn't let her tough Shuckle go to help. Pikachu, Misty, you're truly my darling, so helpful. Seeing Misty help him intercept Shuckle, Mu Chen, having finished his preparations, didn't hesitate. Using quick attack, Mu Chen leaped high into the air, flicking his tail, and launched a black electric ball more than a meter in diameter. Damn it! Seeing Pikachu's black electric ball coming, Sachi quickly retreated. Could his Pokémon block it? Sachi had no confidence whatsoever. Boom, doll, aha. Just as Sachi retreated, an explosion followed. Simultaneously with the explosion came the screams of Cursed Doll and Starmie. The screams, however, didn't alarm Sachi, instead, they brought her joy. Screams were a good thing, meaning her two Pokémon hadn't been instantly defeated. However, as the smoke cleared, Sachi's initial relief vanished. Her two Pokémon hadn't been instantly killed, but they were certainly in dire straits. Cursed Doll's spirit had been mostly destroyed by the electric ball. Even if it wasn't dead, it would be severely crippled. Starmie's once brilliant gems were gone, leaving it resembling a black, five-pointed star of charcoal, billowing black smoke, with electricity constantly flashing within its body. Clearly, the electric ball hadn't been enough to withstand the attack on Sachi's two Elite 4-level Pokémon. How is this possible? Seeing her two Pokémon instantly defeated by a single electric ball, Sachi was stunned. This wasn't right. This was impossible. Team Rocket had already determined Pikachu's attack capabilities based on the video of Pikachu's participation in the Kanto League tournament. Judging from the current situation, this attack power is obviously much stronger than before, okay? But how could Sachi know that Mu Chen, having completed the main quest, had greatly improved his strength? Pikachu, Mu Chen didn't care how panicked Sachi was. He casually threw a thunderbolt at the vampire-like woman and then turned around and rushed towards Xiaoxi's battlefield. Before, it was okay. Shuckle's offensive ability was insufficient, and Psychic could play a mindless stalemate with it. But as the android Aoka summoned 5 Jumpluffs, the situation began to reverse. Although Xiaoxia summoned Starmie, she was still no match for so many. With 5 Jumpluffs using sleep powder at the same time, Starmie was already down. Even Psychic was now drowsy and might not be able to hold on at any time. Mu Chen certainly wouldn't leave Xiaoxia in danger. As for Ash and Serena, who were also in a bad situation? Damn it. Who cares about anyone else? Is anyone more important than my Misty? Damn it. Meowth, come out. Block this thunderbolt for me. Sachi had originally intended to warn Aoka to be careful of Pikachu. However, when she saw the thunderbolt hurtling towards her, she lost all interest. Facing a thunderbolt that could instantly reach the thickness of an arm, Sachi had no interest in experiencing the thrill of being electrocuted. In a panic, Sachi could only summon her last Pokémon. Meow. Although both were Meowth, Sachi's Pokémon was far inferior to Giovanni's. Blocking Mu Chen's thunderbolt was already its limit. Pikachu, Mu Chen didn't care whether Sachi was dead or not. Running quickly, Mu Chen arrived at Misty's battlefield in a few breaths. Seeing the shuttlecocks flying everywhere, Mu Chen didn't hesitate, unleashing a barrage of 100,000 volts at them as if it were free. Boom, boom, boom. Shuttlecock, violent explosions and the shuttlecock screams followed one after another. Ah! Sachi! You piece of trash! Why did you let Pikachu come over? Just as he was about to take down this ridiculously powerful Psyduck, Pikachu suddenly attacked from behind, and Aoka panicked. Pikachu, Aoka panicked, but Misty was overjoyed. Seeing Pikachu rushing over, Misty's heart immediately settled. These guys were even more despicable than Lance and Random. Falling into their hands would have unimaginable consequences. Chapter 408 Shuttlecock Cotton. Serena, are you alright? On the other side of the battlefield, unlike Pikachu's overwhelming victory, Ash's situation was far from optimistic. Milotic had a type advantage over Steelix, but the level difference was too great. Faced with Steelix's ferocious attacks, Milotic could only defend. Even Serena's Froakie, despite its strong fighting spirit, had an absurdly low level. In this level of battle, it could only help Milotic harass and relieve some pressure. On the other side, Gardevoir and Miss Fortune Skarmory were also incredibly fierce. Relying on its powerful defense, it completely ignored Gardevoir's attacks, focusing solely on chasing Miss Fortune. In fact, due to the aftershock of Skarmory's hurricane attack, Ash and Serena were knocked far away. Ash had full special defense, so Hurricane didn't bother him, but it was a real hardship for Serena. Shot away by the storm, Serena's forehead slammed into the ground, and bright red blood flowed from the wound. Seeing Serena injured, Ash naturally rushed to help her up. I'm fine. Ash, thank you. Despite the excruciating pain in her forehead, Serena's heart was warmed. Although Serena knew this goofball had only helped her because they were teammates, because Ash was in her heart, she was still incredibly happy with his help. Hey. A little couple, huh? Well then, my chakra will break you up today. Serena understood Ash, so she wouldn't misunderstand that he had suddenly changed his ways. But the problem was, Chakra didn't understand. Seeing the two helping each other, he naturally assumed Ash and Serena were a couple. Did you see the little girl's eyes practically brimming with tears? Damn Team Rocket, don't be so smug. Ash was naturally furious at Chakra's mockery. However, no one knew that a question had already lingered in his heart. Boyfriend and girlfriend? What exactly is that? Little lover? What is that? Ash's naivety stemmed from his complete focus on Pokémon. He hadn't paid any attention to matters of romance. But after Serena appeared, after hearing Misty and the others mention boyfriends and girlfriends, and after hearing Chakra say something about little lovers, he began to get curious. Of course, that's a story for later. At this moment, Ash's eyes were still solely on battle. As for Serena, whose pretty face was already blushing in his arms, Ash said he hadn't noticed at all. Pikachu, Mu Chen was naturally unaware of the change that had occurred on Ash's side. At this moment, he was still busy dealing with those annoying shuttlecocks. These little devils not only flew incredibly fast but also kept splashing him with various status powders. Although he had managed to knock down 2 of them with a sneak attack, the remaining 3 were still giving Mu Chen a real headache. Damn it! What the hell is this? How can there be such disgusting Pokémon? Looking at the Jumpluff constantly circling above him, Mu Chen was so angry he wanted to just blast it with lightning. However, besides this Jumpluff, Mu Chen had another opponent, Chakra. Before he was sure he could end the battle, Mu Chen dared not use such a powerful move that would leave him vulnerable. Psyduck, hold on. Ignore Shuttle's bindings. Use Psychic to help Pikachu control those 3 Jumpluffs. Xiaoxia also noticed Mu Chen's predicament. Although Mu Chen's fighting power was incredibly strong, the Jumpluff wouldn't fight him. Its constant circling and harassment, even if it couldn't defeat Mu Chen, could at least delay him. If Mu Chen was delayed, Ash's situation would be dire. Seeing this, Xiaoxia decisively sacrificed Psyduck. Anyway, you're tough, a binding won't kill you, so a little pain is fine. Cool, right? However, Psyduck, usually a silly duck, became incredibly clever under the influence of pain. Hearing Misty's command, Psyduck protested. What the hell are you doing? Are you just ignoring my feelings? This binding hurts so much, and instead of helping me, you're telling me to ignore it. Increasingly angry, Psyduck felt wronged. We're both Pokémon, but Pikachu isn't even yours yet. Why is the discrimination so obvious? However, this idiot had no idea that in Misty's heart, Pikachu was no longer some insignificant Pokémon. This was her boyfriend. For her boyfriend, Misty wouldn't hesitate to cook him, let alone let this silly duck get a beating. Unfortunately, Psyduck couldn't understand Misty's thoughts. With a small brain and too many thoughts, Psyduck was confused. What did my owner just say? Pikachu, right, alright, let's go, cool, right. Having confirmed its target, Psyduck let out a loud cry. Immediately, a visible pink energy surged from the duck's body. Just as it was getting into the swing of things, Psyduck suddenly unleashed its power, sending the unsuspecting Jart flying. However, before Jart could panic, it realized the energy wasn't aimed at it. Watching the terrifying pink energy hurtling towards Pikachu, Jart was completely bewildered. What the hell? What's going on? Aren't they on the same team? Why are they fighting each other? Pikachu, Jart wasn't the only one bewildered. Mu Chen, the person directly involved, was equally dumbfounded. What the hell? Psyduck, who the hell are you attacking? Looking at the psychic energy hurtling straight at him, Mu Chen felt like 1,000 horses were galloping through his heart. Mu Chen understood the situation clearly. This idiot had obviously entered that brain short-circuiting mode again. However, he could use this psychic power later. With a flash of lightning, Mu Chen pounced on the few shuttlecocks in midair. Psyduck, true to its reputation as the duck god, didn't disappoint Mu Chen with its psychic attack. As Mu Chen moved, Psyduck's psychic power followed, making a sharp turn in sync with his movement. Shuttlecock, Mu Chen could withstand and even dodge the psychic power, but the shuttlecocks weren't so formidable. A psychic attack struck, hitting all three floating shuttlecocks. Pikachu, Mu Chen wouldn't let this opportunity pass. Without hesitation, Mu Chen unleashed his Thunderbolt attack in clearance sail mode. After a few thunderbolts, the shuttlecocks that had been driving Mu Chen crazy finally collapsed. Chapter 409 Defeating the Three Beast Warriors. Clang, cool, right, a crisp sound of impact and Psyduck's cry of pain rang out almost simultaneously. Psyduck, did you get your brain caught in a door again? I told you to hit the shuttlecock. Who did you hit? If you dare to disobey again, I'll stew you. If Mu Chen hadn't dodged that psychic attack so effectively, and even used the psychic attack to defeat the shuttlecock, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Seeing that the stupid duck Psyduck was disobedient, Xiaoxia was naturally furious. Without any politeness, the angry Xiaoxia picked up a brick and began to help Psyduck regain its intelligence. Cool, right. Cool, right. Xiaoxia's anger made Psyduck immediately cower. Damn it, although Psyduck, who was running around with its head in its hands, looked harmless, Alka hated this stupid duck to the core. If it weren't for it, he would have already captured this little beauty. If it weren't for it, how could Pikachu have broken through the encirclement of the shuttlecock army? Unfortunately, this incredibly stupid duck ruined Alka's tactics and the entire plan of the three beast warriors. The Jumpluff army had already fallen, and Alka only had a defensive Pokémon, the Shuckle, whose offense was lacking, left to hold the fort. Intercepting Pikachu? He was utterly powerless. Pika, honey, a couple of hits is enough. This stupid duck can be quite effective sometimes. Seeing Misty still chasing Psyduck, Mu Chen helplessly offered a word of advice. Although this stupid duck could sometimes be despairingly stupid, it was still Misty's main force. Many times when he couldn't handle everything, this thing could help Misty fend off many enemies. After offering a few words of advice, Mu Chen focused his attention on Chakra. At this point, Sachi had been defeated, and Alka only had the Shuckle, whose defense was sufficient but offense was lacking, which could be completely ignored. The only thing worth Mu Chen's attention was this last Chakra. Sizzle, sparks of electricity leaped from Mu Chen's cheeks again. After his struggle with Jumpluff, the cooldown on his charging skill had passed, and Mu Chen decisively activated it again. He couldn't handle the remaining Steelix with Chakra, but that's Skarmory. HMPH. You're having a blast chasing my skirt girl, aren't you? Chakra. Watch out, Pikachu's coming. Unlike Sachi, who was barely able to protect himself, Alka was quite relaxed, thanks to Shuttle's protection. Seeing Pikachu rushing towards Chakra, Alka quickly warned him. At this point, Chakra was the only one of the three Beastmasters still capable of fighting. If you were to be defeated, their mission wouldn't be completed, and their safety wouldn't be guaranteed either. Random's death was shrouded in mystery, but Lance had died at the hands of this Pikachu. The Team Rocket members weren't already well aware of Pikachu's ferocity. Damn it! What's going on? Hearing Alka's shout, the excited Chakra finally looked up to check on the others' battle. Seeing that Sachi had already retreated and Alka only had one Shugaru left, Chakra was dumbfounded. What's going on with you guys? Can't you put in some effort? How did you get so low in such a short time? Chakra was confident in defeating Ash and Serena, but facing Pikachu at the same time, he was completely panicked. However, it was too late to say anything now. Pikachu, while still running, Mu Chen unleashed a fully charged Thunderbolt. Its target was Skarmory, which was still chasing Miss Skirt. You think you're so tough because you're steel type and not afraid of Gardevoir? Well, I'll see how your flying type can withstand my Thunderbolt. Zzz. Without any hesitation, and before Chakra could even react, Mu Chen blasted Thunderbolt at Skarmory. Ahoo! The electric current pierced its body, rendering Skarmory's once proud defenses completely useless. Electric-type attacks are inherently weak against flight, especially this was a super 100,000 volt attack after Mu Chen had recharged it. One strike sent the creature crashing to the ground with a scream, clearly dead. Ah! Damn it! Alka, let's retreat. Skarmory was instantly defeated, and its Chakra lost all will to fight. The strength of the three beast warriors lay in their combined attack technique. However, due to their carelessness, they didn't launch a combined attack immediately, instead fighting individually, making it unsurprising that Mu Chen defeated them one by one. Pikachu, want to leave? Did you even ask me? Coming and going as you please? Do you think I run an inn? Even if I did, you'd better leave me my lodging fee. It's not easy to keep the Chakra of a Steelix, but Mu Chen wasn't going to let Alka, who used Shuguru, get away with it. Damn it, wasn't it you who used the shuttlecock to annoy me just now? Wasn't it you who said you were interested in my dear's Isle Aksha just now? Pikachu, with the enemy defeated and no longer under pressure, Mu Chen decisively used his ultimate move, Thunderstrike. Even if he couldn't leave that Chakra behind, Alka had to be left behind for me. Crackling, with Mu Chen's summons, a dark cloud suddenly appeared in the sky. Countless bolts of electricity rolled and crisscrossed within the cloud, displaying its terrifying power. Alka, I'm retreating first. I'll wait for you at Apollo's. Seeing such a powerful change, Chakra left a sentence and decisively fled the battlefield. As for whether Alka could retreat? Hell, better to die than to die himself. Good luck to him. Ah. Damn it. You think you can keep me here, Oka? Don't even think about it. Seeing the lightning, which resembled divine punishment, Oka knew things were going badly. Relying on Slug's formidable defense, Oka, though tense, wasn't particularly panicked. It was just lightning, a random attack. How many of those strikes could actually hit him? Boom. 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 But Oka's naive thoughts quickly vanished. The lightning bolts falling from the sky were like precision-guided missiles, each one striking Oka's location. How is this possible? Looking at the lightning striking straight down, Oka completely panicked. Unfortunately, this guy excelled at defense, not speed. When his defense couldn't withstand the lightning, that was the moment of his defeat. Slug, the first sound of the lightning strike was Slug's painful scream. Boom. Boom. After Slug fell, bursts of lightning relentlessly pounded down on Oka's location. As for Oka, it was blasted into dust long ago. Chapter 410 An Opportunity Arises. Those damn Team Rocket. I'll make sure you pay next time I see you. Ash was furious that only one of the three teams he encountered remained. Back in the Kanto region, these Team Rocket members had always been harassing him. And now, even in the Johto region, they were still relentlessly pursuing him. Pikachu. Whether Ash was angry or not, Mu Chen didn't care. Right now, Ash was most concerned about the mission reward. Where was the opportunity? Where was my opportunity? Mission completion meant the reward would be given. But the problem was, where the hell was it? I couldn't touch or see the opportunity, so where did I get it? Mu Chen knew that the reward for this mission was definitely related to Ash, that idiot. That's why Ash valued it so much? But Alice. Ash. Thank you so much. I really don't know what I would have done without you. With eyes shining brightly, Serena looked at Ash with even more admiration than before. Ash is truly amazing. Even though they were the same age, Ash has already become a true regional champion. Before, the term champion was just a title. You never truly understand what it means until you see it for yourself. But through this battle, Serena understands. Facing the overwhelming Team Rocket, she was completely powerless. But Ash single-handedly defeated Team Rocket and even killed a hideous guy. How could Serena not admire him? What's more, This goofy guy rushed to Serena's aid when she was in danger, which greatly impacted her heart. If Serena's previous admiration for Ash stemmed from childhood memories, now she's completely conquered by him. So what if he's a little goofy? So what if he's a little tough? Even steel can be softened by a gentle touch? Serena refuses to believe she can't defeat Ash. Of course, this was merely a change in Serena's mindset, not the reward Mu Chen was hoping for. As for the opportunity Mu Chen was expecting, it appeared quickly. Pikachu, tell me, what exactly is a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship? What's a lover? This question had been lingering in Ash's mind throughout the day's battles. But after asking Misty and receiving a glare in return, Ash suppressed his doubts. Now, at night, unable to sleep, Ash began to torment Pikachu. Pikachu, holy crap. You mean this? Mu Chen had originally planned to call out his women for a sparring match after Ash and the others fell asleep. But unexpectedly, Ash, that idiot, was acting like he'd taken the wrong medicine, refusing to sleep no matter what. Unable to endure it any longer, Mu Chen finally gave up. But just as he was about to drift off to sleep, this idiot picked it up and took it away from Misty and Serena. Half asleep, Mu Chen was naturally furious when Xiao, that idiot, jerked him awake. Before he could even use the electric shock, Xiao spoke. Upon hearing this, Mu Chen was instantly excited. Damn! An opportunity. An opportunity. Hearing Xiao ask this, how could Mu Chen not know? This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. This idiot had finally seen the light. Mu Chen knew that Xiao was currently just curious and confused, he wasn't actually interested in this kind of thing, just wanted to know. But that didn't matter. As long as this idiot showed interest, as long as this opening was made, Mu Chen saw hope. Before, Mu Chen felt that Xiao was flawless, like a fly couldn't find a crack in him. Now, the buttons on that ironclad exterior had been opened. However, after Mu Chen's excitement subsided, he started to worry. Looking at Xiao's blank, inquisitive expression, Mu Chen was conflicted. Damn it, how was he going to explain this to him? Transforming into a human is unrealistic. 5 minutes wouldn't be enough to explain anything, and even in front of Ash, Mu Chen didn't intend to reveal his ability to transform. He'd tell Misty it was because he wanted to develop a closer relationship with her, perhaps even, well, you know. Ash? Huh. This idiot. Once my system mission is over, who cares who you are? Besides, transformation is a big deal. While some unique Pokémon, even legendary ones, can transform, this guy is Pikachu. Pikachu transforming? Who's ever heard of that? To avoid unnecessary trouble, Mu Chen had no interest in revealing his ability to transform to Ash. So, the question arises, how to communicate with this idiot without becoming human? By writing, drawing, and gesturing? Huh. That might work with Misty, but with Ash? Mu Chen was afraid he'd be driven mad. Forget it, you're just a Pokémon. You probably wouldn't know the answer to this anyway. After waiting for a while, seeing Pikachu scratching its head, Ash naturally assumed he was being stupid. Pikachu is just a Pokémon? How could it possibly understand these things? Such profound questions were beyond even Ash's comprehension. Pika, holy crap. Stop right there. Seeing Ash get up to leave, Mu Chen panicked. I fought Team Rocket to the death, and finally got this opportunity. Was I just going to waste it like this? No way. Absolutely not. Zzz. Without a word. To stop Ash from leaving, Mu Chen suppressed the pain in his heart and unleashed a 100,000-volt attack on his master. That's right, not an electric shock, just 100,000 volts. This wasn't because Mu Chen cruelly wanted to torture his master. It was just because he was too anxious. 100,000 volts is not an electric shock. An electric shock to Ash was just a tickle, but a 100,000-volt attack was a real pain. Pikachu. What are you doing? That hurts. However, Ash, true to his name, had incredibly strong special defense. While most Pokémon would be completely knocked down by a 100,000-volt attack, Ash only suffered a few minor injuries, his hair stood on end and his skin turned black. Pikachu, damn it. Do you think I'm in a hurry if you don't leave? Have some patience. Let me think of a way to explain some basic physiology to you. By the moonlight, looking at Ash, who is as black as charcoal, Mu Chen fell into deep thought once more. Chapter 411 Xia cries from anger. Pikachu, what are you doing? Ash looked completely bewildered as Pikachu tiptoed to the sleeping Serena. She was sleeping. What are you doing? Don't wake her up, it's so rude. Clearly, he'd forgotten how he'd woken Pikachu up earlier. Pika, what am I doing? Of course, I'm teaching you about physiology, letting you know how wonderful ladies are. Looking at the bewildered, clueless Ash, Mu Chen gave him a disdainful look. What a useless piece of trash. With such good conditions, he doesn't even understand basic common sense. It's infuriating. Mu Chen swore that if he had transmigrated as Ash instead of Pikachu, let alone Misty, he'd be unrespecting if he didn't bring a whole carload of beautiful ladies with him. Alice, poor Mu Chen transmigrated as Pikachu. Given his current situation, he's quite content to have Zaya-Aksha. After all, different starting points lead to different circumstances. Ah. Pikachu, what are you doing? Don't wake Serena. Ash was still confused when he arrived next to Serena. Suddenly, he realized Pikachu was pulling his hand forward. Ash was genuinely bewildered. What's going on? She's sleeping. You're so close, what if you accidentally touch her and wake her up? However, Mu Chen ignored Ash's surprise. Without a word, he forcefully grabbed one of Ash's hands and pressed it against the sleeping Serena. Pikachu, holy crap. The feel is amazing. Ash touched it, and Mu Chen naturally touched it back. In an instant, Mu Chen was mesmerized. This feeling is completely different from Zaya-Aksha's. Ah. Pikachu. What are you doing? Mu Chen was captivated, while Ash was completely dumbfounded. What's going on? Serena is sleeping, why are you grabbing me and touching her like that? Pika, Mu Chen, in a human-like gesture, put his little hand to his mouth and made a shushing gesture to Ash. This idiot. Are you some kind of reincarnated tiger? Can't you even tell what you're doing? You haven't taken your hand off yet. If you really wake Serena up, I'll be fine, but you'll be arrested as a pervert. If you get arrested, how am I supposed to complete my mission? Mu Chen had gone to great lengths to make Ash understand the beauty of the young lady. Unfortunately, this idiot still didn't get it. However, neither Mu Chen nor Ash noticed. At this moment, Serena's pretty face was already flushed red. Oh my god. Ash. It's Ash. What is he doing? She was sleeping soundly when she suddenly felt something on her legs. Serena slowly woke up. But how could a girl like Serena possibly have the courage to stand up in this situation? She could only forcefully control her trembling body, pretending she was still fast asleep. However, while Serena dared not wake up, there was someone else who did. Sleeping next to Serena, Misty was naturally awakened by Ash and Pikachu's conversation. In her groggy state, Misty saw Pikachu and Ash launching a night attack on Serena. Upon seeing this, Misty was instantly enraged. Pikachu. Ash, forcibly suppressing the urge to roar, the awakened Misty grabbed Ash and Pikachu by the ears and ran towards the nearby open field. Clearly, Misty didn't know that the victim, Serena, had already woken up. Ouch! That hurts. Misty, what are you doing? With his ear grabbed by Misty, Ash looked like he was in more pain than if he'd been hit by a thunderbolt. Clearly, Ash's incredible resistance only worked against Pokémon attacks. Pikachu, holy crap. Honey, let me explain. It's not what you think. Unlike Ash's bewildered confusion, the experienced Mu Chen knew exactly what was going on. He'd been caught red-handed by Misty and gotten himself into trouble. Getting into trouble wasn't so bad, Mu Chen hadn't really done anything wrong, and basically, he had a clear conscience. But the problem was, how was he going to explain this to Misty? A quick glance out of the corner of his eye, and Mu Chen could see Misty's visibly furious anger. You two bastards. Tell me. What are you doing? Having moved a distance away and left Pikachu and Ash behind, Misty was like an enraged lioness. That's too much? This is outrageous. Those two bastards. They actually. Zaya-Aksha felt nothing but disgust towards Ash. This bastard, pretending to be a clueless idiot during the day, and then doing such a despicable thing at night? If you really like her, why don't you just tell Serena? Serena is clearly your little fangirl. If you just said it, wouldn't she run into your arms and let you touch her? Why resort to this sneak attack in the middle of the night? Pervert. Just thinking about it made Zaya-Aksha feel a chill run down her spine. This pervert, could he have also sneaked up on me like this? Thinking about this, Zaya-Aksha even got goosebumps. Disgusted, Zaya-Aksha didn't want to look at Ash again. Focusing her gaze on Pikachu, Xiaoxia's anger surged even higher. Bastard! Damn bastard! What did you promise me? What did you promise me? How dare you attack Serena in the middle of the night? And with that despicable Ash? Even if you really can't control yourself, won't you just make a move on me? Don't even mention midnight, even during the day. Have I ever refused you? What's so great about that Serena? She's just a little more muscular than me, so what? It's not like I'm not developing. You useless thing. If you like stockings or something, just tell me. Do you think I can't wear those things? Looking at the dejected Pikachu, Xiaoxia angrily shed tears of grievance. This young lady doesn't care about other people's opinions. I've decided to live with you, this hateful yellow-skinned mouse. What more do you want? Pika Pika, holy crap. My dear baby, don't cry. Mu Chen was originally worried about how to smooth things over. But now, when Mu Chen saw Xiaoxia actually crying, he immediately panicked. This is his darling little cutie. No one can cry, but Xiaoxia can't cry. Without any hesitation, Mu Chen entered charging mode. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 412 The Master Deceiver, Mu Chen. Zzzzzzz. The sound of a super electromagnetic wave rang out. Oh my god. Pikachu, what are you doing? Immediately, Ash's scream and Misty's exclamation followed. She had been so angry and aggrieved that she was about to cry, but unexpectedly, when she looked up, Pikachu had suddenly attacked the bewildered Ash. Although it was a harmless electromagnetic wave, it was a charged one. A normal electromagnetic wave before charging would at most cause Ash to twitch for a while. But seeing Ash foaming at the mouth and completely unconscious after charging, Misty knew that Ash probably wouldn't wake up today. Pikachu had suddenly attacked Ash without warning. How could Misty not be surprised? Others might not know, but Misty knew perfectly well that Pikachu was no ordinary Pokémon. It was a rascal much smarter than the average person. That's why Xiaoxia was so shocked after Mu Chen attacked Xiaoxia. This wasn't some kind of Pokémon suddenly going berserk and attacking its trainer. That bastard, he definitely had some ulterior motive. Xiaoxia was caught in shock and confusion, something Mu Chen understood perfectly. After checking on Xiaoxia and confirming that he was genuinely stunned by the super electromagnetic wave, Mu Chen sighed helplessly. Sigh. He'd kept it a secret for so long, but finally, he had to tell this girl the truth. Tonight, Xiaoxia had caught him red-handed, even making his precious little darling cry. Mu Chen knew that if he didn't give her an explanation, their relationship would be over. Mu Chen would never accept such a thing. At this moment, he was no longer someone who had just arrived in that world simply because he was attracted to Xiaoxia. He had truly fallen in love with this girl and truly wanted to protect her and take care of her for the rest of his life. That's why Mu Chen finally decided to electrocute Xiaoxia, and then... Darling, don't cry, listen to me. Hey. Don't hit me, I don't have much time. Let me finish. He pulled Xiaoxia away a short distance, and after confirming no one had noticed, Mu Chen transformed back into that incredibly handsome, cool guy. Seeing this guy swinging Xiaoxia towards her, Xiaoxia, already filled with anger, raised her hand to slap him. However, how could Mu Chen, who knew Xiaoxia so well, fall for it? Today, he was going to explain things clearly. If he let her slap him for 5 minutes, what was the point of explaining? Fine. You say it. I'm listening. Tears welled in Xiaoxia's eyes, but she still looked furious. That damn bastard. Let's see what you have to say. At this moment, Xiaoxia was prepared. If this bastard continued to deceive her with sweet words, she would completely separate from him and that disgusting Xiaoxia. Xiaoxia, I'm in the prime of my life. Why would I offer myself to a lecherous rat like you? It's not what you think. Seeing Xiaoxia finally quiet down, Mu Chen, no longer bothering to hide anything, quickly spoke up. He was joking, his time was limited, and he couldn't waste it on useless things. Darling, listen to me. You've probably already doubted my intelligence, right? That's right, I'm not some damn Pokémon. Mu Chen, am just a human. However, I'm a human who made a mistake and was sealed by a god. Only by completing the task assigned by the god can I regain my original form, which is what I look like now. Because I haven't completed the task quickly enough, I can only transform for 5 minutes now. Confess the truth? He was joking, that was utter nonsense. Saying he wasn't from this world, saying he had a system? Did this girl have no brains? Mu Chen had gone to great lengths to get Xiaoxia to accept it. What did you say? You? Hearing Mu Chen say this, Xiaoxia was shocked. Hey, even if you're going to lie to me, at least make it believable. This is just too far-fetched. A god? Making a mistake? What is this all about? Wait a minute. Something's not right. Suddenly, Xiaoxia seemed to grasp something. That jerk was right about one thing, I really did have my doubts. If you were a Pokémon, no matter what, his intelligence couldn't possibly be this high, and he certainly couldn't have such a strong preference for human girls. There's only one possibility. This jerk. He really is human. So you believe me? That's right, I am a human, but not a modern one. I am a prince of the Snow Kingdom 1,000 years ago, punished for disrespecting the gods. I was sealed away for 1,000 years, and have only just awakened. Gods, forgive me, but I must complete a task randomly assigned by the gods to regain my true form. That idiot Xiao is the target the gods assigned me. The first task was to help this idiot become the champion, and I completed it, so I can revert to my original form for 5 minutes. Looking at Xiaoxia's wide, shocked eyes, Mu Chen laughed inwardly. Ha ha ha. So gullible. So easily fooled. She actually believed this. I'm a genius, for crying out loud. My dear, in order to completely transform back into a human and stay with you forever, I received a second mission from the gods. That mission was to help that idiot Ash get together with Serena. Don't be angry, you really misunderstood tonight. That idiot Ash asked me what a boyfriend-girlfriend is. How was I supposed to explain that? So I took him to find Serena, hoping he could experience the beauty of a beautiful lady firsthand. Strike while the iron is hot. Seeing that Xiaoxia's anger was gradually subsiding, Mu Chen knew victory was within reach. He even had an extra ally after today's deception. You bastard, is everything you said true? Mu Chen's words were a huge shock to Xiaoxia. But this bastard's intelligence was simply not that of a Pokémon. Not even a legendary Pokémon. Xiaoxia had even consulted with Professor Oak, searching extensively online and in books. But in every source, it was shown that even a legendary Pokémon, no matter how intelligent, would never possess human-like thinking. However, this bastard's thoughts, actions, and interests are all those of a completely human being. Yes, darling, why would I lie to you? Believe me, I love you. I didn't tell you before because I was afraid you'd think I was an old monster from 1,000 years ago. Chapter 413 Xia, who was tricked into a trap. Xiaoxia cried. In just 5 minutes of transformation, Mu Chen had successfully made Xiaoxia cry again. However, this time, Mu Chen showed no panic or heartache as before. What? You bastard. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I misunderstood you. Holding the Pikachu tightly in her arms, Xiaoxia's face was filled with emotion. Who would have thought that the bastard in her arms was actually a human? Although it was indeed hard to accept, just as Xiaoxia had thought before. If it wasn't human, then why was this bastard's intelligence so high, far exceeding that of Pokémon? If it wasn't human, then why were its hobbies so bizarre? Even if there were human Pokémon hybrids in this world, they were mostly human-dominated. Only Pokémon like Jengar and Alakazam, which were transformed from the souls of dead humans, would be interested in humans. Clearly, this yellow-skinned rat was definitely not that type of being. And it was precisely because of this that Xiaoxia believed Mu Chen's nonsense. The facts were undeniable, this guy's intelligence and actions were incredibly convincing. Through Mu Chen's elaborate sleuthing, Xiaoxia finally understood why he so vehemently disliked Ash yet still fought to the death. All of this was because of her. The thought of him saying he was deeply captivated by her at their first meeting, even vowing to marry her for life, sent a shiver down Xiaoxia's spine. Although this bastard was indeed a bit lecherous and quite despicable at times, Xiaoxia could still sense his feelings for her. Even after helping Ash achieve his dream of becoming the Kanto champion, he only managed to regain 5 minutes of his transformation time. To truly be with her forever, he silently endured this inhuman pain and the unspeakable loneliness of being a Pokémon. Now, This bastard is racking his brains to arrange a girlfriend for Ash, this complete idiot who knows nothing about relationships, just to prolong his transformation time. At such a young age, how could Xiaoxia resist the sweet talk of this experienced driver, Mu Chen? At this moment, she has completely fallen for him. Xiaoxia now unconditionally trusts everything Mu Chen says. This bastard has sacrificed so much for her, what reason does Xiaoxia have not to support him? As for why the tasks assigned to this bastard by the gods are always related to that simpleton Ash, Xiaoxia has no doubts about that. How can mortals understand the actions of the gods? In this world, there are all kinds of Pokémon, and many Pokémon are even called gods. So Xiaoxia has no doubts about the talk of gods. Pikachu, okay, enough crying for a while. People who don't know better will think I've done something to you. Half an hour passed, and Xiaoxia was still crying uncontrollably, deeply moved. Mu Chen was losing patience. This was such a beautiful time, such a lovely scene. Even if he were back to normal now and couldn't do anything, he couldn't just keep crying like this, could he? Okay. Stop crying. I won't cry anymore, Xiaoxia giggled, tickled by Mu Chen's short hands on her face. By the way, you little rascal. You said the god's task for you is to help Xiaoxia and Serena get together, right? That's a bit difficult. Serena is manageable, but it's mainly about Xiaoxia, recovering from her emotional state. Xiaoxia finally remembered the important matter. Mu Chen's task wasn't just about himself. It was also closely related to her own lifelong happiness. 5 minutes. Although her older sisters had said that many men couldn't even last 3 minutes. But those older sisters had also said everything. The longer it goes on, the more happiness and joy you'll gain. Although Xiaoxia didn't understand the meaning yet, she trusted her older sister's advice completely. Pikachu, I know it's difficult. What can I do? Would it be a main quest if it weren't difficult? That silly guy Xiaoxia finally got it tonight, and I'd only just started taking action with him when you ruined it. Hearing Xiaoxia's question, Mu Chen rolled his eyes. Then, his short hands started gesturing. Hey! Why didn't you tell me beforehand? So what if it's 1,000 years? You haven't lived for 1,000 years, you're just sealed away, why would I dislike you? Seeing Mu Chen complaining to her, Xiaoxia retorted. I didn't know beforehand, how can I blame him? Pikachu, damn it. It's impossible to reason with you old women. No sooner had he started complaining than Xiaoxia launched a counterattack, leaving Mu Chen speechless as he changed the subject. Stop with the nonsense, let's get down to business. From now on, your job is to flatter Serena, boost her confidence and courage, and encourage her to confess to that idiot Xiaoxia. Even if she fails, don't worry, as long as you keep encouraging her, giving her confidence, and letting her see hope so she doesn't give up. I'll handle Xiaoxia. Like today, if you find out about this later, don't overreact. I'm doing this for our future. Serena is Xiaoxia's girl, I won't do anything to her, you can rest assured. As long as you can keep Serena calm and prevent her from giving up, I'll definitely complete this mission. Okay, whatever you say. Completely fooled by Mu Chen, how could Xiaoxia possibly doubt his words? You little rascal, what a pity, your transformation time has already passed today. Otherwise, I really wanted to kiss you, you little rascal. With a shy look on her face, Xiaoxia gave Pikachu in her arms a playful smile. Pika, holy crap. What the hell? A kiss? Damn it. Why didn't you say so earlier? If you had told me earlier that our progress had already surpassed just holding hands, why would I have bothered explaining so much to you? I could have just pinned you down and given you a good kiss, and there wouldn't have been any problems, right? Looking at Xiaoxia's mischievous face and hearing her words that dealt him a critical hit, Mu Chen's mind was in complete turmoil. Chapter 414 Another Random Mission. I slept so well. What happened last night? Oh right. Pikachu. Why did you shock me? Ash woke up with his usual clueless self. Clearly, he had no idea what had happened the night before. All he cared about was why Pikachu had attacked him so fiercely. No way? Ash, were you dreaming? Completely fooled, Misty was now firmly on Mu Chen's side. For topics that were difficult to explain, the best approach was to fabricate a story. Huh? Really? Was it a dream? That's strange, I actually dreamt that Pikachu dragged me to disturb your sleep. Hearing Misty's reply, Ash hesitated. Could it be? Was last night a dream? Then why was it so vivid? But it must really be a dream, right? Otherwise, how could such a thing happen? The thought of being dragged by Pikachu to raid Serena in his dream last night felt unbelievable to Ash. Although, the sensation in the dream seemed pretty good, Ash didn't notice. After he said that, and even as he looked at his hands that had attacked Serena in his dream and began to recall, Serena's pretty face turned bright red, almost bleeding. Good heavens! Ash, did he think everything yesterday was a dream? Thinking about how she was suddenly awakened from a deep sleep yesterday, Serena blushed deeply. How could this guy think it was a dream? It was completely real. But, if he thought it was a dream, could it mean? Suddenly, Serena seemed to grasp something. If Ash really thought it was a dream, did that mean he actually had feelings for her? Otherwise, why would he do that kind of thing? Even in a dream. But wait, even if Ash thought it was a dream, what about Misty? Thinking about how Misty was also awakened last night and angrily took Ash and Pikachu away, Serena was confused again. Why did Zyazia tell Zyazia it was a dream? And why did Pikachu knock Zyazia unconscious with electricity? Oh my god. What exactly happened last night? Serena, don't overthink it. That idiot Zyazia really doesn't understand these things. But don't worry, he's already become curious about this. As long as you persist, you'll definitely succeed. Just as Serena was lost in confusion, Zyaaxia's voice suddenly came to her ear. Well, about what happened last night, I stopped Zyazia because I was afraid that this idiot wouldn't know his place and would do something too outrageous. After all, even if you two really get together, it's not good for him to take advantage of you, right? After racking her brains to comfort Serena, Zyazia felt as if she had just gone through a war. Oh my god. My poor little rascal, how much pressure and pain have you been bearing all by yourself? At this moment, Zyazia felt full of sympathy for Mu Chen for receiving this unfortunate mission. This was really not as simple as helping Zyazia become the league champion. At least it didn't require any brain power, just constant battles. Zyazia, Serena, you should be rested enough, right? Let's grab some breakfast and then continue on our way. Ash, still savoring the conversation between Zyazia and Serena, was completely unaware of their exchange. Having snapped out of his reverie, his eyes hardened once more. My goal is to become the world's #1 Pokémon master, Pikachu. Holy crap. You're done already? Mu Chen had been silently watching Ash's condition. Initially, seeing Ash lost in thought while staring at his hands, Mu Chen was secretly relieved. This idiot, he'd finally figured it out. But little did he expect. He'd shut it off almost immediately. The burning fighting spirit in Ash's eyes was giving Mu Chen a massive headache. Beep beep, random mission activated. Young man, ignore that idiot for now. You're about to enter the territory of a formidable being. Although that guy isn't currently in the territory, the guards he left behind aren't easy to deal with. Mission objective, defeat the guards left behind by the unknown being. Mission reward, unknown. Penalty for failure, if you fail to defeat the guards, you'll become their food. What the hell? Another mission? He just dealt with a 3 beastmen, and now this random mission has appeared again. Hearing the mission notification, Mu Chen knew that this mission probably wouldn't be about dealing with Team Rocket or anything like that. But the problem is, what the hell is this formidable being? It's not even here yet, and the guards are already this powerful? A random mission right off the bat? Mu Chen was completely dumbfounded. If the guards are this ferocious, what if that formidable being is also here? Am I doomed? Ash, can't you rest a little longer? What's the rush? We don't have to compete in the league tournament. Look, Serena clearly hasn't rested well. Zyazia, of course, was unaware of Mu Chen's random mission. Hearing Ash urging everyone to hurry again, Zyazia was utterly speechless. This beautiful scenery right in front of them, why couldn't he appreciate it? You took such a big advantage of Serena last night, and she didn't even say anything, and you're so oblivious? I said it was a dream, and you believe it's a dream? Before, Zyazia was glad this idiot believed everything she said. Now? Hell, Zyazia wanted to slap him to death. Hey. After we pass the Lingling Tower, we'll reach town, right? Resting in town is better than sleeping in the wilderness, isn't it? Clearly, Ash's reasoning was quite valid. Alright, let's grab a bite and set off. Tempted by the town, Zyazia gave in. At least this idiot made a very good point. Resting in town is much better than sleeping in the wilderness. However, this time if we go to town, I absolutely will not share a room with Serena. I didn't understand before, but now that I do, how could Xiaoxia continue to be a third wheel? Besides, what if Xiaoxia has gone crazy again and wants to experience it again? It would be so inconvenient if I were there. Thinking about how my impulsiveness ruined Mu Chen's plans last night, Xiaoxia felt filled with self-reproach. Getting this idiot to understand is truly no easy task. Chapter 415 Three Idiots. Awoo, woohoo, woohoo. Looking at the three large dogs of different colors and appearances howling in front of him, Mu Chen was exasperated. What the hell? These are the guards the mission mentioned? Are you kidding me? At this moment, Mu Chen and his companions had only just set off and arrived near the Lingalong Tower when they unexpectedly encountered these three behemoths. My god! These are the legendary Pokémon, Entei, Suicune, Raikou, just as Xiaoxia exclaimed in surprise. These three large dogs were none other than the infamous three silly dogs of the Chengdu region. Damn it! Xiaoxia, Serena, be careful. I'll handle these three legendary Pokémon, you guys back off. Looking at the fierce-looking three dogs, Xiaoxia prepared for battle. Although he didn't understand why these three had appeared together and even harbored such hostility towards them, Xiaoxia wasn't one to sit idly by. Now, Xiaoxia, am the champion of the Kanto region. So what if you're the three legendary Pokémon? In the Kanto region, Ash has encountered and fought many opponents of your level. With his past achievements and the powerful champion Pokémon Pikachu, Ash wasn't particularly alarmed by these three idiots. Pikachu, damn. If you're so tough, why don't you go fight yourself? Hearing Ash's idiotic instructions to Misty and Serena, Mu Chen rolled his eyes. Damn it, there are three of them. If it were just one at a time, well, I'd show you what a brutal crush is. But three at once, how am I supposed to fight? Although they hadn't fought yet, just by feeling, Mu Chen knew these three were definitely not easy to deal with. However, with a system mission, Ash, that idiot, had already charged forward. Pikachu, charge. Use Thunderbolt. Attack Suicune first. Years of battles had made Ash a bit of a goofball, but he wasn't lacking in battle experience. Facing these three silly dogs, Ash naturally had Pikachu target Suicune, whose type was weak against it, first. If they could take down one, the rest would be much easier. Pikachu, Thunderbolt. Here we go. Since the battle had begun, Mu Chen didn't hesitate. Ash's choice was perfectly reasonable, and Mu Chen naturally had no objections. Zzz. Without a word, a thunderbolt was launched by Mu Chen, its target being the most handsome of the three silly dogs, Suicune. Roar. Seeing the thunderbolt coming at it, Suicune's eyes revealed a human-like mockery. After letting out a roar, a visible energy barrier appeared in front of it. If this were just a barrier similar to a light screen to block damage, Mu Chen wouldn't be surprised. But this thing was completely different. When Mu Chen saw his 100,000 volts strike the protective barrier and then reflected back at him, he was completely dumbfounded. What the hell? Are you from the Murin family of Gusu? You even know this fake fighting technique, using someone else's own methods against them? Are you kidding me? Mu Chen couldn't accept this situation at all. However, how could he know that this was Suicune's signature move, surface coating? Its function was to reflect damage back at the user with double the force, causing an attack on the user. Although Suicune would also take damage using this skill, as one of the three legendary beasts, it could easily withstand this damage. Pikachu. Seeing the reflected attack, Mu Chen had no choice but to activate quick attack and quickly dodge. Damn it. If it were just 100,000 volts reflected back, I wouldn't care at all. But the problem is, the reflected power has changed. Looking at the pink psychic energy, Mu Chen had absolutely no interest in taking a hit and experiencing its effects. Roar. Suicune attacked, and Entei wasn't idle either. A deafening roar resounded. Then, Entei opened its mouth wide, spewing out a torrent of scorching flames. This was one of the ultimate fire-type moves, Flamethrower. Awoo. Entei attacked, and Raikou naturally wasn't going to be outdone. A loud roar rang out, and Raikou unleashed a 100,000 volt attack, also as thick as an arm, at Mu Chen. Pikachu, damn it. 3 against 1, you guys have no shame. Seeing these three idiots actually ganging up on him, Mu Chen was speechless. Can't they have any shame? They're legendary beings. Where's their dignity? Where's their pride? Pikachu. Hold on. Melodic. Gardevoir. Squirrel. Come out. Melodic, you go deal with Entry. Gardevoir, Squirrel, you two deal with Suicune. Seeing the three Pokemon attack simultaneously, Ash didn't hesitate. Since it was a group fight anyway, the number of Pokemon didn't matter. Ash wasn't aiming for victory against Melodic and the others, just stalling them and giving Pikachu time to defeat one was enough. Ash had originally planned to have Pikachu attack Suicune, whose type was weak against it. However, after witnessing Suicune's coding ability, Ash changed his mind. It was more reliable to deal with Raikou first. At least Pikachu wasn't afraid of electricity. I know, Shanna, Gun, summoned by Ash, the three Pokemon each went to find their opponents according to their commands. Pika, damn it. Why didn't you call them out earlier? Do you only remember when you see me in danger? With the three old women summoned by Ash, Mu Chen's pressure immediately lessened. Only Raikou remained, making him much easier to deal with. Ignoring the oncoming thunderbolt, Mu Chen, using his high-speed movement, pounced on Raikou. HMPH, you idiot, go ahead and shock me. I'm not afraid of electricity, woohoo. Seeing Pikachu ignore his thunderbolt and instead charge forward, Raikou was enraged. What the hell? It's not afraid of my thunderbolt. As a legendary creature from the Chengdu region, when had Raikou ever seen such an arrogant yellow-skinned rat? What else was there to say? Facing the charging Pikachu, Raikou also chose to charge. However, as Raikou charged, it revealed its incredibly sharp steel teeth. Clearly, it intended to deliver a powerful blow upon contact with Pikachu. Chapter 416 The Helpless Thunder God. Woohoo, HMPH. You little yellow mouse, aren't you afraid of electricity? Then taste this Raikou's crunch. Pikachu's 100,000-volt attack on Suicune was incredibly powerful, so Raikou and the other Pokemon naturally didn't dare underestimate it. That's why our Raikou and Entei chose to join the battle. Their eldest brother, Ho-Oh, wasn't home, leaving them to guard the gate. If it were just an ordinary trainer, these three wouldn't even bother showing themselves. But, as legendary beings, they possessed a special sensory ability. They sensed a terrifying pressure from this yellow mouse, similar to that of their eldest brother, Ho-Oh. Although this pressure wasn't obvious yet, and although this yellow mouse was far weaker than their eldest brother, Ho-Oh, they were certain they sensed an ability unlike any ordinary Pokemon. A pressure only gods could possess. That's why the three of them appeared, and chose to fight this Pikachu. Is another god about to be born? Haha. Well then, let's kill you before you grow up. The world is finite, and so are resources. With each new god added, the resources possessed by these old legendary Pokemon decrease. This is why even so-called super legendary Pokemon engage in great battles. For example, Kyogre and Groudon fought for countless years because they each wanted to possess more resources. Now, having discovered that Pikachu possesses the potential to become a god, the three idiots couldn't sit still. Pika, you think you can bite me? You're dreaming. Seeing the cold glint in Raikou's steel teeth as it pounced on him, Mu Chen knew that if his little arms and legs were bitten, he would surely be done for. Without a word, he activated Quick Attack and instantly changed his position. Snap, full of momentum, but Alice, the bite was lonely. Awoo, unable to bite Pikachu, Raikou let out an angry roar. Instead of the same roar, he was greeted by Pikachu. ZZZZZ, take this 100,000 volt. Although Raikou is also an electric-type Pokemon, unless it has a lightning rod ability that makes it immune to electric-type attacks, it will still be damaged by lightning. Even if the damage isn't significant, it's enough for Mu Chen. It's better than melee combat with this thing, right? Roar, at such close range, the instantaneous 100,000 volts hit its target without any hindrance. However, this effect didn't satisfy Mu Chen. Looking at Raikou, which was almost unharmed but instead enraged, Mu Chen knew that for this electric-type legendary Pokemon, 100,000 volts was really just a tickle. Pikachu, damn it. Not afraid of electricity, huh? Well, I'll see if you're afraid of that. Dodging Raikou's attack again, Mu Chen landed on a patch of overturned soil. Then, this guy unleashed a mysterious power. Through the conduction of the soil, the mysterious power's attribute ultimately changed to a ground-type special attack that counters electric-type moves, and it struck Raikou fiercely. Ow, what is this? Seeing that Pikachu had actually used a yellowish-brown energy, Raikou was a little confused. Are you still Pikachu? Are you still an electric-type Pokémon? How could you use a ground-type move? Normally, Pikachu cannot learn this mysterious power, and even with a TM, the chance of mastering it is extremely low. However, Mu Chen is an exception. Boom, ow, the distance was too close, and the attack was too sudden. Raikou's only reaction was to let out a startled roar. The startled roar had barely faded when it changed to a painful roar. Now, Mu Chen's special attack ability is so powerful that even this so-called legendary being would definitely not be in good shape if it took a hit from Mu Chen's special attack. Pika Pika, a ground-type mysterious power hit Raikou, and Mu Chen activated his follow-up attack mode without any hesitation. With high-speed movement and a flash of lightning, the attack was activated. Of course, facing Raikou, Mu Chen wouldn't use a thankless move like Electric Ball. His goal was to enjoy a Hell Roll. Although Mu Chen also loathed Hell Roll, a move similar to the 7-injury fist, he had no better way to deal with Raikou, which was immune to electricity. The mysterious power could injure Raikou, but it couldn't defeat it. Turning his head, Melodic was temporarily holding on against Entei's attacks thanks to type advantage and self-recovery. But Gardevoir and Lady Sylveon were in a worse situation. Lady Sylveon's grass type was indeed super effective against Suicune, but the difference in their abilities was too great, making this advantage a joke. If Misty hadn't seen the situation was bad and summoned that idiot Psyduck, these two old ladies would probably have already been defeated. Now, these two old ladies were just barely holding on, using Psyduck's help to restrain Suicune. Mu Chen knew that against these three idiots, he had to take one down as quickly as possible, otherwise, once his women were defeated, he would be in trouble. Therefore, his choice was a mutually destructive hellish roll. Damn it, come on, I'll fight you to the death. Anyway, with your size, you'll definitely be the one at a disadvantage in this roll. Without any hesitation, using a lightning fast dash, Mu Chen reached the creature's abdomen before Legong could react. With a powerful pull of his short arms, he grabbed one of Legong's hind legs, unleashing a fighting-type move he hadn't used in a long time. Whoa! Suddenly, Legong lost control of his body, feeling dizzy and disoriented. What the hell? What's going on? Is something pulling me? Ah! It hurts so much? Can't you pull me somewhere else? Legong is male. Compared to Legong, Mu Chen's size was minuscule. In his haste, he thought he was hugging the Thunder God's hind leg. However, Pikachu, holy crap! How long has it been since this Thunder God took a bath? Why is it so damn sexy? The Hell Roll had already begun, and Mu Chen had no time to observe what he was actually hugging. The only thing that made him feel different was why it was so damn sexy. Woohoo! As Mu Chen rolled, the Thunder God let out a deafening roar of pain. In its roar, there was an indescribable desolation and endless helplessness. Chapter 417, War of the Water Lord. Pikachu, holy crap! What's going on? Got it? After one Hell Roll, Mu Chen was dumbfounded. What the hell is this? Are you sure you're a legendary beast? With that physique? I was prepared to unleash 10 or even dozens of Hell Rolls in a row. But you're already down after just one round? Looking at the Thunder God convulsing and foaming at the mouth after falling to the ground, Mu Chen was filled with contempt. Trash, you call yourself a beast? You're a disgrace to the word beast. Because of the battle, Mu Chen, caught up in the action, only focused on defeating his opponent and the situation on the other two battlefields. It was precisely because of this that, until this moment, Mu Chen hadn't realized exactly where he had grabbed the Thunder God, or what terrifying vital points he had attacked. Mu Chen hadn't noticed because he was too focused on the battle. Ash didn't notice because he was busy directing Mu Chen's three older women to fight those two terrifying behemoths. Serena also didn't notice because the little girl only had Ash in her eyes, she basically didn't pay attention to the battle. But, in the arena, there was still a pair of eyes that noticed the key point. Watching Pikachu defeat Raikou, Misty's pretty face showed no joy, but rather a flush of embarrassment and disgust. You bastard. You stinky bastard. Even if you wanted to defeat your opponent, you didn't have to use such a method, did you? It's disgusting. Today I will absolutely not hug you. And I will never let you touch me. At this moment, Misty had made her decision. At the very least, today she would absolutely not let this disgusting toy touch Shiv in a corner of her clothes. Pika Pika, Mu Chen, of course, didn't know what Misty was thinking. After giving the twitching Reikao a look of contempt, Mu Chen used his hind legs to leap forward and charge towards Sukyun, which was still brutally beating his two older women. Damn it! You dare bully my woman? You've got some nerve. With just one hell roll, he took down Reikao. Mu Chen completely despised the so-called three legendary beasts. Trash, utter trash. Just all show and no substance, they can't take a single hit. Roar, seeing Pikachu charging at him, Sukyun's eyes immediately showed a serious expression. This guy actually defeated Reikao so quickly? As one of the three legendary beasts, how could Sukyun not know Reikao's strength? And yet, in a one-on-one situation, Reikao was almost taken down by this Pikachu in one go? How could this be? Could it be that this Pikachu has reached the terrifying strength of their master, Ho-Oh? Sukyun absolutely couldn't believe it. What level of existence was Ho-Oh? Even in this world, it was definitely among the top tier of beings. Even if this Pikachu already possessed the pressure of a god, it absolutely couldn't possess that kind of terrifying strength now. This is utterly unscientific. Besides, Sukyun had already taken a direct hit from Pikachu's Thunderbolt. While it was undeniably powerful and caused Sukyun immense pain, it wasn't enough to make Sukyun feel invincible. Now, seeing Pikachu charging at him, Sukyun was wary of any hidden tricks. Pika, no hidden tricks? All Mu Chen had to do was face it head-on. While running, Sukyun had already entered charging mode. Having withstood Sukyun's instant Thunderbolt attack and even tried some ridiculous shifting stars trick, Mu Chen had lost interest in further testing it. Now, all Mu Chen needed to do was charge up, unleash a powerful attack, and take it down. Once Sukyun was defeated, the remaining anti-E would be nothing. Pikachu. Use Electric Ball. Seeing Pikachu's speed increasing, Ash was filled with excitement. Clearly, Pikachu was about to unleash its ultimate move. With a Power Ball, Ash was confident he could take down Sukyun. Just as Mu Chen had anticipated. Once Sukyun was defeated, the final anti-E would be much easier to deal with. Ash had a slight doubt about the sudden appearance of these three legendary Pokémon, which even showed hostility towards him. However, that didn't matter. They're out here, hostile. Just fight them. That was Ash's way of handling things. Pika, electric my foot. Can't you see I'm still charging? The choice of Power Ball was fine, but not now. While running at top speed, Mu Chen's charge move was still active. To deal with Sukyun, he had to take it down with a single powerful move, otherwise, this defensive counterattack, double the damage, was something Mu Chen dared not experience. Roar, before Mu Chen could even make a move, Sukyun couldn't hold back any longer. As a legendary Pokémon, Sukyun's intelligence was naturally high. Seeing the electric currents flickering on Pikachu's legs, and terrifying surges of electric energy gathering wildly, Sukyun felt the pressure. Ultimately, the electric type was too effective against it. Although Sukyun excelled at defense and counterattack, that didn't mean it couldn't attack. Under the immense pressure from Mu Chen, Sukyun no longer hesitated and launched an attack on the still-running Pikachu. It opened its mouth wide, and a burst of icy energy shot out. This was the Ice-type move, Aurora Beam. Pika, holy crap. So fast? Mu Chen had expected Sukyun to attack. But he never expected it to be this fast. What kind of move is this? Its speed is almost as fast as his quick attack? Whoosh, seeing the Aurora Beam hurtling towards him, Mu Chen, ignoring his surprise, could only forcefully activate it. If it got hit, not to mention the damage, wouldn't all his charging be for nothing? At the last second, Mu Chen forcibly changed direction, narrowly dodging Sukyun's sudden attack with a flash of lightning. Roar, Pikachu actually dodged his attack, and Sukyun's big eyes showed a human-like surprise. After a brief moment of surprise, Sukyun ignored Gardevoir and Miss Gwynner's harassment and opened its mouth wide again. Clearly, it wasn't going to give Pikachu another chance to recharge. Pika, holy crap. This Sukyun is actually this smart? Seeing Sukyun's response, Mu Chen, still running, was helpless. Chapter 418 Phoenix King. Pikachu, once again, Mu Chen frantically dodged Sukyun's attack. This is blatantly refusing to charge me. Damn it. Since you're like this, don't blame me for being impolite. Realizing he couldn't charge it, Mu Chen didn't hesitate. He activated high-speed movement and flash of light, and electricity began to gather between Sukyun's tails. If you won't charge it, then I'll use a regular electric ball. So what if it's a weak water-type Pokémon, even if it's some kind of legendary Pokémon? I refuse to believe it. Having successfully defeated Raikou, Mu Chen's confidence soared. Crackling, leaping high, a 1-meter diameter electric ball shot from its tail, slamming into Suicune. Roar, the power of the electric ball far exceeded 100,000 volts. Even though Mu Chen hadn't boosted it, this electric ball still caused Suicune considerable pain. Of course, as a legendary Pokémon, Suicune wasn't one to take a beating for granted. Enduring the pain of the electric current, Suicune retaliated. The energy barrier reappeared, and Suicune's surface coating activated again. Pikachu, damn it. I knew it, that's all you know. Seeing Suicune retaliate with double the power, the prepared Mu Chen remained calm. With a quick step, Mu Chen easily dodged the shifting star's attack. HMPH. Suicune? Nothing special. If he didn't know you had this damn skill, he might have suffered a great loss. But even knowing that, you're still not that great, are you? Finding that shifting stars wasn't difficult to dodge, Mu Chen's confidence soared. You won't let me charge you, huh? Then I'll just electrocute you with a regular electric ball. If once isn't enough, I'll try twice. If twice isn't enough, I'll try 3 times. I don't believe I can't electrocute you. Pikachu, without hesitation, Mu Chen activated high-speed movement again. Abandoning his plan to recharge, Mu Chen completely let loose. As the creature ran, it relentlessly flung out electric balls as if they were free. Facing the incredibly fast, agile, and terrifyingly powerful Pikachu, Suicune was utterly frustrated. Its type advantage was already apparent, and its special moves were ineffective against Pikachu, making its defeat inevitable. Roar, finally, after enduring over 10 electric ball attacks from Mu Chen, Suicune let out a defiant howl. Pikachu, well done. Seeing Pikachu defeat Suicune, Ash was overjoyed. Raikou was defeated, Suicune was defeated, and the remaining entity was no match for them. At this moment, looking at the crouching Raikou and Suicune, unable to fight any longer, Ash's eyes gleamed. He was currently missing 2 Pokémon. If he could capture these 3 legendary beasts, wouldn't his missing Pokémon be replenished? Moreover, the 3 legendary beasts are incredibly powerful. Even if they aren't as strong as Pikachu, they are definitely capable of standing alone. If Ash hadn't considered this before, his thoughts changed after his battle with Samurach. So what if they're legendary? They can still be caught and used as trainers' Pokémon in battle, right? The idea of catching them surged like a flood, relentlessly stimulating Ash. Go. Pokéball, catch Suicune for me. Finally, unable to restrain himself, Ash threw out the Pokéball. This is a legendary Pokémon. With its cool appearance, whether used in battle or as a mount, it's incredibly stylish. HMPH. So what if Gary has a sports car? When he sees my Suicune, won't he be utterly astonished? Even after becoming the champion, Ash still harbored a desire to compete with Gary. Pikachu, Ash wanted to catch Suicune, but Mu Chen wasn't having it. Damn it, my whole army of women, my cheerleading squad. I finally managed to get rid of Pidgeotto, and now you've added in another one? Mu Chen absolutely couldn't stand it. What the hell is this? Can't you catch something that fits my aesthetic? Although the chain quest seemed to be completed, Mu Chen had already made this decision in his mind and was used to this setup. Now, seeing Ash trying to catch Suicune, how could Mu Chen agree? How could he allow Ash to ruin the purity of his painstakingly assembled cheerleading squad? But just as Mu Chen was about to take action, a sudden gust of wind swept in. Hisso, a loud cry rang out. Accompanying the cry, a gigantic phoenix suddenly appeared in midair. This was none other than the owner of the Lingling Tower, Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh appeared amidst a gust of wind, so Mu Chen didn't need to worry about the Pokéball Ash threw. However, Mu Chen didn't have time to deal with that damn Pokéball issue right now. Pikachu, holy crap. No way? The mission didn't say anything about fighting this thing? Looking at the sky covering Ho-Oh, Mu Chen mentally screamed a million MMPs, this is ridiculous, can I even fight this? This is bullshit. This damn system, didn't it say to fight these few gatekeepers? Why the hell did it send in a substitute? And a substitute, and this is a god level 1 at that? Although Mu Chen's strength has greatly improved, dealing with these third-rate legendary Pokémon isn't too difficult. But this Ho-Oh is a super legendary Pokémon. It's one of the top existences in this world. Putting everything else aside, just looking at the aura of Ho-Oh's appearance, Mu Chen knew he was definitely no match for it. Heavens! That's Ho-Oh, oh no! Ash, run! Mu Chen wasn't the only one who was shocked. Even the goofy Ash, Serena who's always been watching Ash, and Misty who's just there for show, were all terrified upon seeing Ho-Oh. This was a legendary god. How could mortals possibly have any chance against a god? Especially since you'd even attacked one of its minions, and Ash, that goofball, was even planning to capture it. Pikachu, damn it. System. Come out. If you don't want me to die, get out here right now. Faced with this terrifying Ho-Oh, all Mu Chen could do was send a distress call to his system. Beep beep, host, don't panic. It's just a big bird. It won't dare attack you. Just as Mu Chen was panicking, the system's voice rang out. Compared to Mu Chen's panic, the system's voice was full of calm. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 419 Intimidation. Humans. This is my territory. Who allowed you to trespass? And how dare you attack my subordinates? Just as Ash and his friends were stunned, a majestic voice suddenly entered their minds. Clearly, Ho-Oh was communicating with Ash and his friends telepathically through some incredible power. We trespassed unintentionally, we didn't mean to offend you. As for your subordinates, they attacked us first, before Ash, the simpleton, could answer. Misty spoke up first. She wasn't trusting Ash, that simpleton. Who knew if he'd get carried away and challenged Ho-Oh? Humans, even if what you say is true, the majesty of a god cannot be challenged. Now, you will pay the price for offending the majesty of a god. Encountering Ho-Oh in the wild, this creature might ignore you. It might even help you if it's in a good mood. But it depends on the situation. This Petalburg Tower is Ho-Oh's home. Normally, when it's not home, with these three guarding the house, Ho-Oh doesn't bother with the tourists. But now that it's back, it sees several uninvited guests fighting at its doorstep, even brutally beating its guards and trying to subdue them. How could it tolerate this? Even when beating a dog, one should consider its owner. At this moment, Ho-Oh felt its dignity had been offended. How should one deal with an offense to one's dignity? Naturally, it should be cleansed and repaid with blood. In its anger, Ho-Oh was no longer willing to hold back. They were just a few humans, after all. In the eyes of these supreme beings, humans were nothing but ants. Just like the battle between Kyogre and Groudon, did they ever care about the lives of humans? Damn it. Pikachu, prepare for battle. Misty's explanation was ignored by Ho-Oh. Instead, it was going to attack them. Ash was furious. What an unreasonable bunch. You attacked first, and now you're blaming us? Unfortunately, Ho-Oh doesn't listen to reason, so it's just a matter of who wins with their fists. Pikachu, get ready, you idiot. Where's the system? Didn't you say this thing wouldn't attack? Where are you? Come out here. This is what you call not attacking? The battle is about to begin, okay? Previously, Mewtwo hadn't recovered to its best state, so the pressure it exerted on Mu Chen wasn't this strong. But this Ho-Oh, that's at its peak. How terrifying is a legendary Pokémon at its peak? Just this aura alone was unbearable for Mu Chen. Mu Chen absolutely didn't have the courage to fight against an opponent of this level. These are completely different concepts, okay? Just when Mu Chen panicked, Ho-Oh was preparing to attack, and Misty and Serena were in a panic. A faint pressure suddenly came from Mu Chen's thin body. This pressure, Ash and the others couldn't feel. Melodic and the other old ladies couldn't feel it either. Aksha and Serena couldn't sense it at all. But Ho-Oh could. The only remaining entity could. Even Aksha, that silly duck, vaguely sensed something different. Looking at Pikachu's small body, Psyduck showed a puzzled expression. What's going on? Why has this yellow-skinned rat's aura changed? I remember its aura wasn't like this. This aura is so shocking. Hisso. Human. You've convinced me. You can leave now, and never appear here again. Lingling Tower doesn't welcome you. Ho-Oh, which was originally full of momentum and ready to attack, suddenly deflated after feeling this pressure. Immediately, it changed its attitude and issued an order to Ash and the others to leave. Pika, holy crap. What's going on? The most confused person at this moment was undoubtedly Mu Chen. How come they suddenly started fighting? System, you intervened? Why didn't I sense it? Mu Chen knew that Ho-Oh's sudden change in attitude was naturally due to something the system had done. However, this system genuinely hadn't discovered anything. Huh? Not fighting anymore? Mu Chen was bewildered, and so was Xiao Zhi. They were all ready for the battle. What's going on? I'm all prepared, even my pants are off, and this is what you tell me? Facing Xiao Zhi's question, Ho-Oh completely ignored him. With a flap of its wings, gusts of wind swept through. Then, Entei, along with the already crouching Sukyun, Rikao, and Ho-Oh, disappeared from Xiao Zhi and the other side. What happened? Misty, Serena, did you see how Ho-Oh left? Ho-Oh's sudden transformation right before their eyes left Xiao Zhi even more bewildered. What was going on? Xiao Zhi, let's hurry up and go. Seeing Xiao Zhi still struggling with this, Misty helplessly slapped her forehead. This battle was already inexplicable, and now it's brought out Ho-Oh, which only appears once every few hundred or even 1,000 years. Now that it's ignoring you and letting you go, why are you still bothered? Ash, I've heard people say before that these legendary Pokémon live in different dimensions from us. They only descend into the real world when needed. While Misty didn't understand, Serena provided an answer. Clearly, Ho-Oh had taken its minions and left this dimension, returning to its own. So that's how it is. I thought I could fight Ho-Oh. Audacity knows no bounds. Hearing Ash's mutterings, not only Mu Chen and Misty rolled their eyes, but Serena also showed a hint of astonishment. Good heavens! This Ash actually wants to challenge a godlike being like Ho-Oh? Damn it! Damn it! How is this possible? Why do I feel an instinctive fear of this power? After a few exclamations, Ash and his friends quickly left this dangerous place. However, they were unaware that in another dimension, Ho-Oh, watching Ash and his friends leave, had long lost its previous pride and composure. At this moment, a look of panic appeared on Ho-Oh's face. Other beasts, upon feeling that oppressive aura, would at most be taken aback. After all, that oppressive aura wasn't strong, perhaps even weaker than the oppressive aura possessed by Pikachu itself. Only Ho-Oh felt it. That oppressive aura was directed at it, an aura that made its very soul tremble. Ho-Oh didn't understand why. But it knew that the owner of this oppressive aura could easily take its life, even if it was an immortal god. Chapter 420 System. Where's my reward? Even though I didn't get completely destroyed by the last Flame Emperor, you can't blame me for that. You can't deny it. Embarking on his journey again, Mu Chen, nestled in Xiao Xia's arms, was busy arguing with the system. Damn it, I completed most of that random mission. You can't not give me a reward, can you? And when the Phoenix King appeared, you didn't tell me. That's absolutely not my fault. Mu Chen was absolutely unyielding when it came to matters of vital interest. Ding ding, reward issued. Please check it yourself. With Mu Chen's constant urging, the system's electronic voice finally rang out, unsurprisingly. I knew it was the roulette wheel. Come on. You despicable cat, here you go. As expected, this unknown reward was again the roulette wheel. With the reward issued, Mu Chen naturally ignored everything else. Getting the reward in his hands first was what mattered, wasn't it? Under Mu Chen's anticipation, the roulette wheel slowly began to spin. Finally. A question mark? Another question mark? Come on. Don't let me down. Seeing the final pointer land on the question mark, a hint of anticipation flashed in Mu Chen's eyes. Ding ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining an electric ball, Pseudo 2, I'm rich. Looking at the scene that appeared in his mind, Mu Chen was so excited that he almost jumped up. He already had an electric ball, Pseudo 1, and now he had another electric ball, Pseudo 2. What does this mean? As long as he gets one more, Pseudo 3, he can take off immediately. 1, 2, 3. Once he has these three, he can synthesize a genuine electric ball. His current magnet only amplifies the special attacking effect by 20%. What about the electric ball? Special attack doubles, a 100% amplification. What kind of effect is this? If I had an electric ball right now, I'd dare to challenge even Ho-Oh. Wait. Holy crap. That's not right? Suddenly, Mu Chen remembered something. So this is the second time the system has intervened, right? The first time was with Sabrina, but back then the system only boosted his special attack to help him break free from Sabrina's psychic restraints. But this time? He was too tense before and didn't think much of it. Now, recalling it, it seems there was a strange aura. Siddha could feel this aura, so Mu Chen naturally could too. He hadn't thought of it before because the pressure was too great, and he didn't have the time to pay attention. Now that he's safe, Mu Chen is starting to remember. How could the system emit such an aura? And even scare Ho away with just that aura? This is just not scientific. System. Come out. What are you? Or rather, what exactly are you? Mu Chen isn't stupid. The system's behavior often makes him feel that it's definitely not a cold, electronic program. After today's verification, Mu Chen is even more certain of his judgment. Faced with Mu Chen's question, the system didn't offer any answer. Clearly, the system had once again entered its aloof state. Come out. You fucking come out here. I know you can hear me. In the past, the system ignoring him was one thing, but this time, Mu Chen wasn't going to give up so easily. This system was definitely not an ordinary electronic program. How could he be at ease if he didn't figure it out? Before, Mu Chen was just a lone wolf, only concerned with himself, so he didn't bother with the system's strangeness. But now it was different. Now, Mu Chen had Xiaoxia. Not only did Xiaoxia want to live with Mu Chen for life, but Mu Chen himself also longed for it. Although Mu Chen often couldn't resist seeing pretty girls, that was just his personality. In the real world today, on a cool summer day, how many people wouldn't admire those girls showing off their legs? Mu Chen just amplified that admiration a bit. Of course, that wasn't important. What was truly important was that Mu Chen's heart, this otaku, was already filled with Xiaoxia. For Xiaoxia, he was willing to give up the whole forest. But even under these circumstances, the system once again revealed its abnormality. How could Mu Chen possibly feel at ease? Beep beep, host, please believe me, this system will not harm you. Finally, under Mu Chen's persistent questioning, the aloof system responded. I don't care if you harm me or not. I just want to know who you are. And what your purpose is. Don't try to fool me, I've transmigrated here too, I've seen countless systems. Finally, it gave a reply. Could Mu Chen really let this system fool him with just a few words? If you don't confess today, don't expect me to let this go. Aloof, as always. System. You have to explain yourself clearly today. What exactly is going on with you? If you don't tell me, I'm going on strike. You can erase me if you want. Being erased now is better than living in fear. Erased? What about Xiaoxia? Under Mu Chen's interrogation, the system revealed its human side. Holy crap. Damn it. Just as I thought. You're not even a damn electronic program. Hearing the system's retort, Mu Chen's hair practically stood on end. All that before was just a test. But unexpectedly, he'd actually been found out. Xiaoxia, anyway, nothing's actually happened between me and Xiaoxia. So what if I'm eliminated? My Xiaoxia's got the looks, she can find anyone. I trust her, no way he could trust her. Mu Chen declared he'd rather die with Xiaoxia than give her away to anyone else. Perhaps it was incredibly selfish, but what could he do? He was such a selfish scoundrel. Of course, Mu Chen wouldn't reveal his true intentions to the system. Why are you doing this? I can only tell you, I really won't harm you in any way, and I'll even continuously improve your strength. Faced with Mu Chen's shamelessness, the system was utterly speechless. Stop talking nonsense. Having seized the initiative, Mu Chen wouldn't budge an inch. Mu Chen, we are actually partners. You don't need to care who I am. You just need to know that as you continue to complete these tasks, I will continuously help you increase your strength. In the end, you will become a god on this world, and I will also be able to be reborn. Chapter 421 World Line. Hey, aren't we in a cooperative relationship now? Do you still need those pointless random quests and main quests? Oh, and that damn chain quest that makes me want to curse? Can we just ignore that too? The system is a living, breathing entity. Maybe it's even human? A god? Or something beyond his comprehension? When Mu Chen learned this, he was utterly shocked. Who the hell would have thought there was such a thing in his mind? Is this some kind of old man? Even if you are an old man, why give me all those damn quests? Why not just be straightforward and focus on improving my strength as the chosen one? Now that the system has revealed some of its capabilities, Mu Chen had to seize the opportunity and shamelessly go all out. We've always been in a cooperative relationship. But this quest is indeed mostly meaningless for my recovery. But don't you think it's interesting? Holy crap. Are you fucking messing with me? After all that rambling, this is what you tell me? Mu Chen had expected at least some tangible reward for all the breath he'd wasted, right? But what? What the hell is this? Are you fucking messing with me? Mu Chen wasn't stupid. Hearing the system's reply, how could he not understand? Okay, some tasks might indeed be related to the system's resurrection. But there were many other tasks that had absolutely nothing to do with his resurrection. Yet, this thing deliberately released those completely unrelated tasks, just to tease him? The thought of all his hard work sparring with those old women from Milo's, thinking he was completing tasks, only to find out he'd just been fooled? At this moment, Mu Chen was utterly devastated. Damn it. Let me tell you. I don't care who you are, or how awesome you used to be. You'd better turn me back into human right now, and then those messy tasks that have nothing to do with your recovery shouldn't appear again. Otherwise, I'm going on strike. Do whatever you want. This was a crucial moment. Mu Chen knew that the system rarely showed up, and he had to secure enough benefits. It's impossible for you to turn back into human right now. My energy isn't enough. Only if you change the world's timeline and completely disrupt the laws of this world can I continue to recover my abilities. As for those other tasks? Sorry, I have to keep adding other tasks for you to numb the power of the world's rules. After saying the last sentence, the system returned to its aloof state. Clearly, it understood Mu Chen's nature. This guy was a scoundrel. Talking to him was pointless, so it was better to give a simple explanation to put his mind at ease. What the hell? World line? Change? Disrupt the rules? What the hell is all this? After uttering those words, the system fell silent, leaving Mu Chen utterly bewildered. As a transmigrator, Mu Chen naturally had a general understanding of these terms. A world line, that was naturally the events that should have occurred in this world. This system wanted him to disrupt it? Change the rules? What did that mean? In an instant, Mu Chen had already grasped the general idea. This system was probably not from this world either. Holy crap! What was going on? Could it be that this system was also a transmigrator like him? Did it also come from Earth? Or some other place? Endless questions swirled in his mind, but the system had completely entered aloof mode, remaining silent no matter how Mu Chen called out or threatened it. Faced with this situation, Mu Chen could only remain silent. Fine. Whatever, I'm not losing out today. The system had revealed some information, and Mu Chen roughly understood some things. That was enough. Shouldn't we take things slowly? Even food needs to be eaten one bite at a time, right? Mu Chen believed that as long as he relentlessly harassed the system, he would eventually be able to pry it open and learn everything he wanted to know. Damn it, tell me, is there any hope for Xiao Zhi? Xiao Xia was naturally unaware of everything that had happened between Mu Chen and the system. Now, having embarked on her journey again, Xiao Xia was also in a state of distress. If she hadn't known about Mu Chen's situation before, Xiao Xia would have been indifferent to Xiao Zhi. You can be as close as you want, you can understand what a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship is, what does it have to do with me? But now it's different. Now, that blockhead Xiao Zhi has a very serious connection with her. If this guy doesn't come to his senses, what will happen to her lifelong happiness? Although Mu Chen can transform for about 5 minutes every day, who wouldn't want more? Is 5 minutes enough? Although Xiao Xia hadn't experienced it herself, through her 3 older sisters' descriptions, she wasn't completely ignorant about such things. Just imagine, if at the crucial moment, the blunt heartthrob disappears, replaced by a yellow-furred rat, the thought alone sends chills down Xiao Xia's spine. It's terrifying. That's why Xiao Xia is so concerned about Ash's current state. After encountering Ho-Oh, Ash is clearly traumatized. Watching Ash constantly directing Melodic and other Pokémon in battle, completely ignoring those who try to comfort him, Xiao Xia feels a headache coming on. Pikachu, is there any hope? Damn it. Even if there's no hope, we have to save him. After some conversation, Mu Chen understood the general situation of this system. Clearly, it needs him to change the timeline, and he needs the system to increase its strength after the timeline change, helping him extend his transformation time. In other words, he and the system have a fundamentally mutually beneficial relationship. Regardless of what happens in the future, Mu Chen is now absolutely determined to complete the mission. Otherwise. Damn it, 5 minutes? I haven't finished my foreplay yet. Chapter 422, a new mission, Brother Dragon and Sister Dragon. Beep beep, random mission, what the hell? Who the hell doesn't know who? Stop pretending to be a computer program, okay, the journey continues. Ash's gym-crushing adventures are far from over. He battles his way up, nearing MT Silver, ready to challenge the Silver League of the Johto region. Just as he's about to climb the mountain, the system pops up again. However, now that Mu Chen knows what the system is all about, he's not going to tolerate it. Damn it, we're brothers, we use each other, we help each other. Can't you just explain things clearly to me? What old mission? Fine, I'll do what you ask, change the timeline, and you can just give me the reward after you get your upgrade, right? Faced with Mu Chen's shamelessness, the system is completely helpless. What can he do? He chose this host, this guy transmigrated, and only this guy who shouldn't exist in this world can change the timeline. Alright, I'll be blunt then. Because this system has used its powerful abilities to change the habitats of many Pokemon that don't normally live here, this is what's called the randomization mode. Ahead, you'll encounter Latias and Latias. In the normal timeline, Latias, as the younger sister, would develop a relationship with Ash, that idiot, forming a bond. Now, the change I need you to make is to help Ash defeat these two siblings, and then let Ash capture Latias. Finally, you'll sex her, completely severing your relationship with Ash. This time, you're getting off easy. She's a legendary Pokemon with the ability to transform, so you can experience human pleasure. As for the reward? That depends on how much energy I can recover. Holy crap. You're being way too blunt. What do you mean by sex? Seriously. We're all civilized people, can't you be a little more subtle? But what's going on here? Latias? A legendary Pokemon? Can it transform into a human? Holy crap. Doesn't this mean I can? Just thinking about how the system said Latias could transform into a human girl filled Mu Chen with happiness. This was much more reliable than sparring with Milotic and those old women. Even Gardevoir, the closest thing to a human, felt different from a real human. Perfect, Latias can transform into a human, so I can too. System, you're awesome. Mu Chen was extremely satisfied with this mission. He didn't care about the original timeline. Whatever, as long as I benefited, that was enough. Now I could only look at Misty but not touch her, which was perfect for me. System. Does this mean if I defeat Latias and Latias, Ash can catch them? Also, what if Ash, that idiot, catches the dragon Latias instead? Being able to communicate was great. At least it's no longer a cold, impersonal task, there's room for negotiation. Mu Chen also understands that this system needs his help to disrupt the timeline, so naturally, it will do its best to assist him. This is easy to solve. Just figure out a way to get Serena or Zioxia to tame that dragon brother, right? Holy crap. That's it? Simple and straightforward. Dragon brother? Latias? That thing, since it's a divine beast, must be incredibly powerful, right? If Zioxia tames it, I'll be able to relax a lot. As the opponents grow stronger, Mu Chen becomes increasingly concerned about Zioxia's safety. Relying solely on a stupid duck that's prone to short-circuiting isn't enough for Mu Chen. If he added another divine beast for protection, Zioxia's safety would surely increase significantly. Right? Wait. Holy crap. I almost fell for it. Damn it, the sister can turn into a human, but what about the brother? This is unbelievable. I can't let Zioxia tame it. Otherwise, won't I be cuckolded? These Pokemon, captured by their owners, spend every day with them. Even if they can't become human, there are still many instances in this world where humans and Pokemon eventually combine. Besides, this thing has incredibly high prestige, it's a legendary Pokemon, and it can even become human. Even if he has faith in Misty, who knows if this dragon brother is reliable? Mu Chen declared that he would absolutely not allow such a potential crisis to occur. He wanted to prevent it from happening. If Misty wasn't an option, then the remaining choice was naturally very simple. Serena. Anyway, she's Ash's girl, it has nothing to do with me. So what if Ash's idiot head turns into vast grassland? As a bystander, I absolutely wouldn't mind. Knowing his upcoming opponent, Mu Chen was naturally fully prepared. Come on. Come on. Dragon brother? Dragon sister? You're all useless against me. I know my own strength. Now, Mu Chen is truly not afraid of ordinary legendary Pokémon. As long as it's not a super powerful being like Ho-Oh, Mu Chen really wouldn't find many opponents in this world. As for encountering someone of Ho-Oh's caliber? Hell, after the last incident, Mu Chen wasn't worried either. After all, he had system brother Xioxia, Serena, hang in there. Today we'll try to reach the foot of MT Silver, and tomorrow we can climb the mountain. What the future held, this simpleton Ash naturally had no idea. At this moment, a flame of battle was burning in his eyes. MT Silver. The Silver League. He would soon be able to challenge them. Through this training, Gardevoir, Melodic, and Misfortune had all improved to varying degrees. Although they were still far inferior to Pikachu, they were no longer a problem in ordinary battles. Even against those Elite Four level beings, while they might be slightly weaker, they certainly wouldn't be defeated as easily as before. The improvement in the strength of his Pokémon gave this simpleton Ash immense confidence. Ash, why are you in such a hurry? Can't you rest for a bit? Didn't you see Serena can't walk anymore? Ash was only thinking about a battle, while Misty was preoccupied with creating opportunities for him and Serena. Although Serena's confidence had grown with Misty's constant encouragement, Ash, that blockhead, just wouldn't get it. Looking at Ash's excited face, Misty really wanted to give him a good whack with a brick, just like she did with Sidnook. Chapter 423 The Sister Protecting Maniac. Latius, MT Silver was right in front of them. Just as Ash and his friends were about to quicken their pace and reach MT Silver before sunset, a clear cry suddenly rang out. Attracted by the cry, Ash, who was eager to catch a powerful Pokémon, naturally followed the sound. Finally, when Ash, with Misty and Serena panting behind him, arrived at a lake in the forest, the owner of the cry appeared. Wow! What kind of Pokémon is that? It looks so beautiful, oh my god! It's the legendary Pokémon of the Hoenn region, Latius. Ah! And Latius too. What appeared before Ash and his friends were two creatures that resembled dragons but were not quite. The blue one was larger, about 2 meters long, while the orange one was relatively smaller, about 1.5 meters long. These two strange creatures playing on the surface of the lake were none other than Latius and Latius, the one Serena had exclaimed about. This is also a legendary Pokémon? Let me see. As he spoke, Ash took out his Pokédex. Upon hearing Serena's exclamation, Ash's interest was piqued. He hadn't expected to encounter another legendary Pokémon, and from the Hoenn region no less. The Guardian of Latius? Haha. It really is a legendary Pokémon. Pikachu, prepare for battle, I'm going to catch them. Ash had 2 empty Pokémon slots, and encountering this legendary creature had him excited. He'd wanted to catch Suicune before, but the terrifying Ho-Oh had suddenly appeared, making capture impossible. Now, this legendary Pokémon, which should live in Hoenn, was here. Surely no other powerful creatures would appear? Pikachu, no problem, I've been waiting for ages. Mu Chen knew about the dragon brother and sister much longer than Ash. After much anticipation, Mu Chen finally met them. At this moment, Mu Chen was most curious about what these creatures would look like as humans. If it looks like this now, it's not even as good as my Melodic. I absolutely couldn't bring myself to do it, Mu Chen thought. Melodic at least had a slender waist. This thing looks like an airplane. Am I supposed to masturbate? Holy crap. This isn't a masturbation device. Latia, the appearance of Ash and his friends finally caught the attention of the playful Latius and Latius. Seeing Pikachu striking a battle pose, the blue brother Latius quickly shielded his sister Latius behind him, also striking a battle pose. Damn, a sister protecting maniac? Seeing Latius strike this pose, Mu Chen knew that this was going to be a scene of a brother protecting his sister. I said, brother-in-law, we're family sooner or later, you don't have to be like this, do you? The system had made it very clear to him, and Mu Chen naturally knew that what he needed to do this time was to have Zhi capture the dragon sister Latius and then subdue her. So, things were simple. This dragon brother was actually his brother-in-law. Latius, brother-in-law? Who the hell is your brother-in-law? You yellow-skinned rat, you're asking for it. He was initially wary and cautious. But upon hearing Mu Chen call him brother-in-law, the dragon brother Latius became enraged. Mu Chen wasn't wrong about one thing, this guy was indeed a sister-protecting maniac. Without a word, Lacius, resembling an airplane, raised its neck high, and then unleashed an attack filled with dense dragon-type energy, its target directly at Mu Chen. Pikachu, dodge its Dragon Pulse, then use Thunderbolt. ZOZH. I couldn't understand the conversation between the two Pokémon, but how could he not see that the battle had begun? The battle started, and ZOZH instantly entered the frenzy, issuing a series of commands to Pikachu. Pikachu, Pikachu, brother-in-law. We're all family. You can transform, so can I. What yellow-skinned rat? That's just a facade. If it were an ordinary Pokémon with a low intelligence of melodic, Mu Chen wouldn't bother with any nonsense. He'd just go straight for it, defeat it, and finish it off with a few grunts and groans. But the problem is, this time it's a legendary Pokémon. One with extremely high intelligence. And this thing can even transform into a pretty girl. If he doesn't build a good relationship with it, what if it doesn't cooperate? Just thinking about attacking a plane makes Mu Chen's forehead crease with countless black lines. This thing, I really can't handle it. Lacius, nonsense. You're asking for it. Seeing Pikachu effortlessly dodge his Dragon Pulse, Lacius was furious. Without wasting words, he tilted his head back and unleashed another Dragon Pulse. Pikachu, Pikachu, damn it. Can't reason with me, huh? Then let's fight. I'll beat you into submission, see if you'll still acknowledge me as your brother-in-law. Mu Chen knew that to gain the recognition of these legendary Pokémon, he had to conquer them with power. Seeing Lacius attack again, Mu Chen didn't hesitate. With high-speed movement and quick attack activated, he dodged Lacius' second Dragon Pulse and counterattacked. Zzzzz, a surge of electricity appeared. A single, instantaneous thunderbolt was unleashed by Mu Chen. Although Lacius, a dragon psychic type, had extremely high resistance to electric-type moves, there was a degree to it. At this moment, Mu Chen's electric-type moves, unless against a ground-type Pokémon immune to electric, were not to be underestimated. Lacius, a thunderbolt entered Lacius' body, and he felt a sharp pain. Enraged, Lacius launched a fierce attack on Mu Chen. Pink energy surged from its body. Then, a mixed attack, a blend of dragon and psychic types, was unleashed, striking Mu Chen. Pikachu, holy crap. You can do that? Seeing this mixed attack, Mu Chen was completely bewildered. This dragon type seemed to be Dragon Pulse. But what was the pink psychic energy mixed with Dragon Pulse for? Unaware of its power, Mu Chen naturally didn't dare to take it head-on. Without a word, he activated quick attack again, dodging the mixed attack with a graceful tail whip. But, before Mu Chen could even catch his breath, he saw the mixed attack suddenly change direction and chase after him. Pikachu, holy crap. Are you copying Mewtwo? Seeing the Dragon Pulse that could be used for pursuit, Mu Chen knew what that psychic-type energy was for. So, it's become a navigation system? Chapter 424 Battle Against Brother Dragon. Boom, a violent explosion rang out behind Mu Chen. Having experience dealing with Mewtwo, Lacius's attack naturally couldn't hit Mu Chen. Pikachu, Pikachu, brother-in-law, I'm sorry. After saying another sentence that infuriated Lacius, Mu Chen, having dodged the attack, entered charging mode. Lacius's type is Dragon Psychic, and electric-type moves are really not very effective against it. Through that Thunderbolt attack just now, Mu Chen had figured it out. If he wanted to defeat this brother-in-law, he had to use his ultimate move. After all, his sister was watching from behind. In order to show his strength in front of his sister, Mu Chen didn't plan to drag this battle out for too long. Sizzle, sparks of electricity flashed, and streams of electric-type energy began to gather on Mu Chen's cheeks. Lacius, brother, be careful, this Pikachu is not easy to deal with. Mu Chen called his brother-in-law, which was naturally a way of teasing Lacius. As a legendary Pokémon and a proud dragon, Lacius naturally couldn't be bothered with the scoundrel's teasing. She had assumed that with her brother in front, dealing with this talkative Pikachu would be a piece of cake. However, after several rounds of fighting, even her brother was forced to use his ultimate move, yet still gained no advantage. This greatly shocked the proud Lacius. Now, seeing the terrifying electric currents gathering on Pikachu's cheeks, Lacius naturally reminded her brother repeatedly. Pika Pika, oh dear, that's a nice little noise. I mean, we can't side with outsiders, a husband is still closer than a brother-in-law, right? Hearing Lacius's reminder, before her brother-in-law, Lacius, could say anything, Mu Chen interrupted. Lacius, he's asking for it. The protective brother, seeing his sister being teased again, instantly flew into a rage. Without a word, the fiercely protective Lacius roared and unleashed another dragon pulse. Pikachu, come on, who's afraid of who? Seeing Lacius's attack, Mu Chen was more pleased than surprised. While his flirtatious nature was typical, this time it was intentional. After all, both his dragon brother and sister were legendary Pokémon. Mu Chen was confident in a one-on-one fight, but a two-on-one was a different story. That's why Mu Chen deliberately said those words that were extremely provocative to his dragon brother's fragile heart. Get angry. Get really angry. You're only blindly fighting me head-on when you're angry, instead of thinking of teaming up with your sister. Ignoring his dragon brother's attack, Mu Chen, empowered by high-speed movement, started running like crazy. HMPH. Just wait, once I'm recharged, I'll give you a real beating. Lacius, of course, Lacius had no idea what Mu Chen was planning. Seeing that the yellow-skinned rat was powerless against his attacks, Lacius's morale soared. He unleashed Dragon Pulse attacks relentlessly at the miserable rat. In fact, to hit the fast-moving rat, Lacius even interspersed various mixed attacks between Dragon Pulse strikes. However, while the visual and sound effects of the attacks were impressive, the actual effect was minimal. Relying on his superior speed, Mu Chen completely ignored his brother's attacks, simply running and gathering more electricity in his cheeks. Ladia, brother. Be careful, this yellow-skinned rat's momentum is getting stronger. While Lacius, engrossed in crushing Pikachu, didn't notice anything amiss. His sister Ladius, watching the battle, realized something was wrong. Her brother's barrage of attacks hadn't even scratched Pikachu. Instead, the rat's momentum was steadily increasing. Although she didn't know what attack Pikachu was planning, the cautious dragon sister still warned her brother. Pika, you're such a shameless sister-protecting maniac. Fighting your brother-in-law alone, do you really need your sister's help to remind you? And you, why are you always siding with outsiders? I'm your man, okay? Seeing Lacius stop attacking after his sister's reminder, Mu Chen panicked. Stop it. Let's continue. You only fought halfway and then stopped, leaving me stuck in this predicament. Do you think that's okay? Continue, keep trying, don't stop. Almost there, I'm almost done. To achieve a one-hit kill, Mu Chen's charging skill lasted much longer this time than before. Now, after running and dodging for a while, Mu Chen felt he was nearing his limit. Lacius, the verbal harassment had indeed worked. Provoked again and again by Mu Chen, the dragon brother Lacius completely lost his mind. The dragon wave bombardment rained down on Mu Chen again, but the effect was still the same, it only hit one target. Pikachu, okay, I'm done. Finally, after running for a while, Mu Chen's tolerance for electricity reached its limit. Without a word, he activated high-speed movement and lightning flash, a cold glint flashing in his eyes. HMPH. You've been bombarding me for so long, are you satisfied? Now, let you experience my attack. Using lightning flash as a boost, Mu Chen leaped high into the air, executing a graceful front flip, and a huge black electric ball, over 3 meters in diameter, was flung from his tail. Ladia, brother, watch out. Seeing this magnificent electric ball, the dragon sister Ladius paled. Ladia, even without a reminder, the dragon brother Ladius also noticed something was wrong. What kind of weird skill is this? Its power is terrifying. Before the electric ball even reached him, Lacius was already stunned by the terrifying attack. Is that Pikachu? Are you some kind of legendary Pokémon, deliberately trying to tease us? After a brief moment of shock, psychic-type energy rapidly surged around Lacius. Then, a visible pink light screen appeared in front of him. Given the electric ball's speed, dodging was impossible. All Lacius could do was gather his light screen to block the attack. He thought that with a light screen and his own resistance to electric-type moves, he could withstand the attack. Unfortunately, he was overthinking it. Boom! The light screen had barely been erected when the electric ball slammed into him. A violent explosion followed, and the light screen, as if made of paper, was shattered by the electric ball. The electric ball continued its trajectory, striking Lacius again. Chapter 425, The Angry Dragon Sister. Lacius, A super electric ball pierced his body, and the dragon brother finally lost his previous arrogance. The light screen he had placed so much hope in was basically useless. Without the light screen, the dragon brother Latius could only rely on his own body to withstand this super electric ball. In front of the super electric ball, the dragon brother Latius's resistance to the dragon type became a joke. The intense pain caused him to let out a deafening scream. Latius, brother. Seeing her brother Latius' miserable state, the dragon sister Latius, who had been maintaining a cool and aloof demeanor in the back, panicked. My god. How could this be? Her brother was actually defeated by a Pikachu? Even if this Pikachu was different, even if this Pikachu made them feel a little bit of pressure. But it's just a Pikachu. Because of Mu Chen's deceptive appearance, the dragon brother and dragon sister underestimated their opponent. Now, they have paid the price. Well done. Pikachu, defeat Latius too. Looking at these two legendary dragon-type Pokémon, Ash's desire to catch them was incredibly strong. Seeing Pikachu live up to expectations and defeat its dragon-type brother, the little guy jumped up excitedly. Pika, defeating them was inevitable, but you little brat, don't give me a break, don't try any sneak attacks. At this moment, its dragon-type brother, Latius, was already down, and Mu Chen was genuinely afraid that Ash, that idiot, would launch a sneak attack and catch its brother-in-law first. If that happened, wouldn't he be in trouble? Latius, damn Pikachu, I'll make you pay. While Mu Chen was still agonizing over Ash's problem, Latius wasn't waiting for him. After a brief moment of shock, the enraged Latius charged towards Mu Chen like a missile. Clearly, its brother's injury had driven Latius into complete rage. Pikachu, I mean, can you be a little gentler? Seeing Latius attacking him so frantically, Mu Chen didn't stop talking even while dodging. He'd discovered the amazing effectiveness of verbal provocation, so how could he not use it? Latius, shut up. Already furious, this yellow-skinned rat kept dodging with its agile movements and continued to provoke him, making Latius's eyes seem to burn with rage. Transforming into a meteor once more, Latius continued to use its unique dragon-type super move, Dragon Meteor, on Pikachu. Although this dragon-type move was incredibly powerful, the price of using it was equally enormous. Each time this super move was used, it would greatly affect the user's abilities. Unless under normal circumstances, even powerful dragon-type legendary Pokémon wouldn't easily use such a self-inflicted super move. However, the enraged dragon sister Latius didn't care about that anymore. Latius, her brother still lying on the ground convulsing, could tolerate this bastard Pikachu constantly taunting her. However, she forgot why her brother had been defeated in the first place. If it weren't for anger, her brother Latius wouldn't have lost his mind and launched such a reckless attack on Mu Chen. Now that her angry brother was down, her enraged sister had taken over. Mu Chen wasn't surprised by this situation, rather, he was delighted. The angrier his sister was, the easier the fight became. Although the power of the heavenly dragon meteor was indeed terrifying, Mu Chen, relying on his high-speed movement and lightning-fast teleportation, couldn't even scratch him. Conversely, after using such a powerful move repeatedly, Latius's strength would actually decrease significantly, making it much easier for Mu Chen to defeat her. Of course, this alone wasn't enough to make Mu Chen happy. What truly pleased him was that his sister Latius could unleash such a powerful attack. Pika, awesome. Much more awesome than your brother. This dragon sister will definitely become that idiot Ash's Pokémon, with such formidable fighting power. What does that mean? In many future battles, Mu Chen will have a reliable helper. Isn't that enough to make him happy? Boom, once again escaping the explosion using quick attack, an excited Mu Chen prepared to counterattack. Pikachu, little girl, that's enough, isn't it? Be a good girl and lie down. Zzz. Unable to recharge, Mu Chen's choice was electromagnetic waves. Latius had used Dragon Meteor twice in a row, greatly affecting its abilities. By using electromagnetic waves to slow it down, Mu Chen could fight however he wanted in the remaining battle. Latius, that wretched yellow-skinned rat, don't underestimate me. An electromagnetic wave entered its body, a strong paralyzing sensation struck, and Latius was filled with rage. Unfortunately, she really didn't have a good way to deal with this abnormally agile yellow-skinned mouse. Pikachu, alright, let's stop talking nonsense. If that idiot Ash loses control and catches your brother with a Pokeball, I'm doomed. Trust me, I'm much more reliable than your brother, and you can definitely rely on me. Mu Chen kept observing Ash out of the corner of his eye, his heart still wavering. Who knows if that idiot has lost his mind and suddenly throws a Pokeball. Lacius, you bastard. Go to hell. Hearing Mu Chen's words, Lacius was both ashamed and angry. After their exchange, she knew she was no match for this Pikachu. But, as a proud dragon, as a proud legendary Pokémon, how could Lacius accept such a yellow-skinned mouse? She wasn't stupid. This yellow-skinned mouse had been teasing her, and now it even said it wanted the trainer behind it to catch it. Lacius knew perfectly well what fate awaited her if she were truly subdued. Possessing exceptional intelligence, she was acutely aware of this. To preserve her reputation and safeguard her honor, Lacius once again used Dragon Meteor. Unlike her brother, Lacius wasn't proficient in Psychic-type energy, so she couldn't use that mix skill. However, Lacius also possessed skills her brother lacked. This super move, Dragon Meteor, was one of them. The other was the Psychic-type energy constantly gathering on her forehead. This energy continuously restored Lacius's previously depleted abilities, constantly strengthening her power. This skill was a Psychic-type enhancement skill, Meditation. Pikachu, holy crap. Luckily, I was smart enough to have provoked this little vixen quite a bit earlier. If she had used this move right away, the outcome would have been uncertain. Seeing the ever-increasing energy surrounding Lacius, Mu Chen's lips twitched. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.